discovering something brand new. I'm in love with the shape of you.
Stay close to me. There's far too many accidents and hearts colliding. Not another casualty.
Drawing me in and you kicking.
Be close to me. Let my loneliness inform you just how sweet our love will be. Joy, if this is all we are, if this is all we are and all we'll ever be, love and joy, that's fine with me. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, can this be all we are? Can this be all we are and all we'll ever be? Love and joy, you and me. Joy, 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 joy. Stay close to me. Watch out for the crazy people running around, talking such a world of doubt. Be close to me. Let my tenderness seep deep inside you, filling you up with a cozy dream. Joy, can this be all we are? Can this be all we are and all we'll ever be? Love and joy, you and me. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Stay close to me. There's far too many accidents and hearts colliding. Not another casualty. Be close to me. Let my loneliness inform you just how sweet our love will be. Joy, if this is all we are, if this is all we are and all we'll ever be, love and joy, that's fine with me. Joy, 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 joy.
From 3speak, we'll be telling all about 3speak, who, like yesterday, revamped their website, while my son is getting very comfortable on the stage. En dan Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna continue the program with only a 10 minutes delay. But so then it would be great to do the chit-chatting a bit outside and do the undivided attention on the inside. So the chit-chat is on the outside. Jürgen, Julian. Hey, Julie, who's here from Travel Speak? Who's here from Travel Speak? Is there anyone from Travel Speak right here? Oh, yeah. Okay, hey, I think it's a great idea if we do the chit-chatting about Travel Speak outside. Winky wink. No, please, let's continue with the program instead of doing blabbly blabbly. Bitte, können Sie, bitte seien Sie ein bisschen leise, bitte. Sorry? Können Sie ein bisschen leise sein? Ah, okay, danke sehr. My German. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you right after lunch, one of the SteemFest sponsors and a great initiative, 3speak, represented by nobody else but somebody who some people tend to call Dan. Theycallmedan. Are you wired up? All right. And Vincent will hit play for the presentation. Here is the clicker.
Okay. Forward, backward.
And, oh, Vincent is not here. Okay. Cool.
Thank you. Am I coming in clear? Yes, sir. All right, hope everyone had a great lunch. Hope my presentation doesn't lull you to sleep. I'm Dan from 3speak. I'm a co-founder of 3speak. And I'm excited to be here at SteemFest. Glad to see you all in person. And I'm very excited to show you what we've been up to on 3speak.online. Today's presentation is going to be called Tokenomics of Media Chain, presented by 3speak. Maybe. Glitch in the matrix already? Mm-hmm.
Like this.
Ah. There we go. Okay. The current situation with online social media, there's a lack of enterprise-grade competition to the YouTubes out there. And what this does is it's a very slippery slope to censorship and a direct threat to our freedom of speech, where we don't have healthy alternative competition out there. And I believe the reason is people won't take a step back in the name of decentralization. It has to be the same quality, it has to be the same standard that they're used to, or they're just not going to do it. And I'm sure many of you here today have known somebody who's been deplatformed, somebody's been censored, right? So I think right now we are in the eye of the hurricane. And it's going to get worse if we don't do anything about it. And when voices are silenced, when voices are oppressed, they become extreme, and they have to go underground. And we're seeing this with unrest all over the world. When you can't get your voice out on the internet, you have to take to the streets. And I think the solution is the next generation, popular quote, "I wholly disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death to your right to say it." And that's really the premise we have on 3speak. We're trying to preserve freedom of speech in a digital age where in Web 2.0, you have gatekeepers that tell you what is appropriate to say, what isn't appropriate to say. And we know that can lead to very extreme views. So I think the future is decentralized video content delivery and media. But how do we get there? How do we get from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0? With the invention of Bitcoin, we now have the ability to own our asset. We haven't had that in the internet. And with this ability, you can transfer this to data, cards, whatever you think of. And these are just tools, though. Blockchain is just a tool. Just like if you have hammer and nails in the yard, it's not going to build a house itself. But with these tools and an appropriate blueprint, we can then have an idea and bring it to life. And the blueprint is a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. And 3speak's blueprint to creating a DAO is to create what I would call a governance token and a utility token. Now, the governance token will give you voting rights. It's almost like equity in a business. So when you pass the governance token to somebody, you're passing ownership of the platform. They have a right to say, they have a right to anything that happens on the platform. They have a voice to speak. I think this is very important. The governance token would be limited in supply. I want to know exactly how much governance is out there so I can build a foundation into the future. It also can create a store of value with the limited supply. And hodlers of the governance token, they receive the utility token. So the utility token is brought into life by hodling the governance token. And with 3speak specifically, you're going to receive additional privileges as cheaper uploads, the ability to delegate the token, and you'll also receive platform revenue, right? This is how we close the loop with the DAO. We have to create incentivization for people to participate in the network. And that's what the governance token does. And the governance token can be used for immutable tipping. You can use it to bootstrap a community by rewarding partners, finding large content creators, assigning ownership, because when you give somebody a token and now they have skin in the game, now they want to see this project succeed. So it's a really great way to bootstrap a diehard community from the get-go. And the utility token side. On 3speak, this represents 1 minute of uncensorable video hosting or live streaming. It's what you need to actually use the platform. And it's driven by the governance token stake. So governance hodlers will get the utility token and then they can sell it on the open market for people who want to use the platform. And the revenues come from the utility token. You can do advertising, trending page, if you want to boost your comment. The key here is the governance holders are the key beneficiaries on the blockchain. They're going to benefit from everything that happens. Every transaction, you're going to get a cut of it. And not just the governance hodlers, but we're also going to create a small burn, creators and influencers. So if you're a user and you're watching ads, you should be paid. And the content creator should be paid for showing those ads. So this is how you create a closed loop system where everyone is incentivized from the user, the creator, and we're all co-owners. And that's what Web 3.0 provides. Instead of being the user, you become a co-owner in the platform. This is a basic governance token system with the governance token on top, the utility token on the bottom. You can see the utility token really can be spread out in multiple ways and in a nice, neat way funnel all of the profits to the governance token holders. You can use it for video platforms like we're doing with 3speak.online. Independent creators, when they get banned or censored, they have to create their own website. Well, this will give them a way to monetize their brand and monetize their community unlike any way they have before. We have a plethora of DAO platforms, right? The DAO is an idea, it's a belief. Whatever you want to bring it to fruition, cryptocurrency can really help it with the borderless nature. And of course, all kinds of media sites that you can think of. All right, 3speak Online, what we're about. We are against censorship. We believe freedom of speech should be preserved, and it's very important. We offer high-definition videos because, as I said before, users won't take a step back in the name of decentralization. You actually have to have not only a similar product, but I believe you have to have a superior product. And I think 3speak.online can offer that. We also have, it has to be simple to use, fast encoding. This all comes with the quality. They have to have a really great user experience. Right now, we are in alpha. We are getting about 50 to 100K views per month. This is with little to no advertising budget, just grassroots marketing, the great Steem community rallying around the project, and we're already achieving 50 to 100K views per month. And I'm excited to talk about the beta release. That's what we're here today for. With the beta release, we got a brand new UI. I know the UI we had wasn't the sexiest UI, but we got the platform out as fast as possible. The catch is made deplatformed content creators as possible. We have something called citizen journalists, which I think is the future of how news is going to come out. These are the people with boots on the ground at the protests, filming as it's happening. We've heard of media sites being accused of editing video, not showing the whole truths. Well, we all, with the camera in our pocket, become journalists, and they need a place to where their videos won't be wiped off because it might be controversial and advertisers might not like it. We have communities. We all know communities on Web 2.0, like Facebook. I've heard of people who had 10 million followers. They had a whole ecosystem, administrators gone overnight. No one to talk to, no one to plead to, just all of that hard work gone. And with communities on 3speak, that'll never happen. You own your community, you can monetize your community, and no one's going to ever take that away from you. We have a creator leaderboard to bring out incentivize people to be the best versions of themselves. Right now, the top 30 creators get 1 day out of the month where they can upvote with 3speak's stake. And we hope this incentivizes them to bring their users over. As I said, it can't just be as good as YouTube, it has to be better. I say YouTube, but the big centralized platforms out there. And I believe cool features like this, incentivizing the best creators being the best version of themselves, can really draw some eyes. We have mutable tipping. So one of the big things is if I want to tip somebody, I have to go through a middleman. If I want to go from A to C, I got to ask B for permission, and B might not like me or the person I'm tipping. Well, with the mutable tips, you click a button, you know it's there, you know no fees are taken out, you don't have to ask for permission. Users are not the product. This is very, very key. The product should serve the users. And I think we've lost this in the age of free when people realize convenience and they give away all their data for free. They're going to look back about 10 years from now. They're going to realize what they're giving away wasn't free at all. They're actually giving away their most valuable asset, and that's their data. And of course, we leverage Steem upvotes. We have a big pot of personal Steem that we bought because we're committed, but we also have a community delegation. So we leverage the proof of brain on Steem as another killer feature that YouTube and the centralized companies of the world don't offer. Why Steem? Could have chosen Ethereum, EOS, Tron. I believe for our needs, Steem is the most scalable blockchain in the planet. And with the fast and free transactions, things like smart media tokens, Steem engine, you can really rally a community around a cause unlike any other place that I've noticed. And of course, we're supported by a community delegation, and our personal pot, along with the delegation, we're really committed to Steem for the long term, and we really want that to show. Because I believe when you start something and things get hard, if you take a right and you go to something that looks shinier, you're never going to get where you need to be. Sometimes you have to buckle down, and when things get tough, you have to get tougher, and you have to push through the hard times. So I'm really committed to seeing this thing out, whether if Steem goes down, we go down, or we bring it up together. This is our roadmap. Right now, we have the ad system and trending system in place. And this is important because in a DAO, you have to incentivize people. Well, advertisers and people want to get on trending. This is going to incentivize people to hold the governance token and get involved in the platform. Next is the token sale, and I believe live streaming is going to be very important. Users want to be able to get their message out instantly. They want to be able to communicate to their fans and their users instantly. So I think live streaming is going to be very important moving into the future. We have a referral system, which if you bring in advertisers, if you bring in money to the DAO, you're going to get paid for it. Again, incentivization. Everyone has to get a piece for contributing. And that's the key here. And of course, we want to get to the point where you can run your own 3speak. God forbid something happens to 3speak.online, a 4speak or a 5speak or whatever you want to call it can pop up just like playing whack-a-mole. They hit 1, 2 pop up. And that's the ultimate goal with 3speak.online, to offer true censorship resistance. And the ultimate goal here is a decentralized storage system where the data is always protected no matter what. If 3speaks to go offline, that data is sitting there. It's protected. You can go put it up on another website, or if you don't like 3speak.online, you can make your version and still have access to all that data. And wrapping that together with decentralized curation system, because a database is nothing more but unfiltered information. So without a way to decentralize the curation system, you have a lot of unfiltered data that people just aren't going to look through. And in Web 2.0, you have the Facebooks and the YouTubes that curate for you. Here, it's going to be decentralized, and I think that's the future of how content media is going to work. And the ultimate goal is to be a DAO, a full-fledged DAO, where we're all co-owners in this thing, and I think that is definitely the future of how these businesses are going to work. And that's 3speak.online against censorship. Thanks so much for listening to my presentation.
Wow.
I'd like to invite my co-founder, partner, Matt, if we have any questions. token sale? Yeah, so when the token goes live, we're going to have it for sale either on a decentralized exchange or we're going to have it, it's not going to be an ICO. So you're going to go to exchange, you're going to be able to buy it, and you're going to have a use case from day one. So you're going to have the governance token and the utility token from day one. But our plan as of right now is to launch it on a decentralized exchange and just have it for sale.
Any other questions?
I did that good, huh? Or that bad?
Come on. Nathan, can you turn on the Christian microphone?
You guys started talking about YouTube and the gigantic elephants in the room that are just massive, and it's not just the user experience, it's just because that's where all my friends are.
Yep.
Right? So what are some ideas? I mean, obviously you've got 50 to 100,000 people already using it without marketing. What's your idea to get to that consciousness, that people see this as a thing they can use as an alternative that's viable, that's big, that can handle the big players and say, I'm going to move my 100,000 to 1 million subscribers over to this new place, and now it's going to be where they all are at. Is it just marketing, or what is the plan to get people to use this at that large scale? Because I think that's what we all see is needed to really be this kind of force for good that can't be censored.
Yeah, it's a great question. Aside from marketing, I think right now, some people can't even log on to YouTube. They've been permanently banned. So the deplatformed creators are going to have, that's going to be an obvious choice for them. But it's a very small percentage of the population that's been deplatformed. So how do we get the rest there? Well, we hope with incentivization through proof of brain, the DAO system where you actually become a co-owner of the platform, I'm hoping that with these incentives, they're going to come here and realize, see, on YouTube, you work really, really hard. You might earn some ad revenue if you're lucky. And then when they're done with you, they're done with you. Well, here, you're actually going to have a base where you feel like an owner. So every video you put out, you're helping the platform, but you're also helping yourself.
Can I add to that as well? Recently, we've implemented this comment upvoting system. So our top 30 creators, 1 day a month, they receive the 3speak upvote up to a limit of about $50 that they can distribute to their commenters. So they don't have to put any money in or anything like that themselves. They're just using the rewards pool. But the kind of deal there is, as we perfect this and get it to a point where it's ready, which it basically is now, we want to tell our top 30 creators to go out and bring their audiences across and start. If we see them on YouTube talking about 3speak and saying, hey, come over here, comment. You don't need a Steem account in order to comment on 3speak, but you can still earn Steem via a proxy account on 3speak. So we need to start building things like this to incentivize people to come across and make a little comment, log in with their Google account, earn some Steem on that comment, and then eventually have enough so they can click a button and automatically get an instant Steem account, and now they're on. We have all of that in place now. It's just a case of sort of making it known to content creators, holding them to account, making sure they start using it as well. Otherwise, if you don't use it, you lose it, and we pass it on to someone else who will. And grow with those type of methods. And of course, I'm not saying that's the only way we're going to do it. It's the first one we're using, and as time goes on, with all the things that Dan mentioned there, hopefully that's what will help it grow and expand.
Anyone else? All right. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for the clicker. I need it.
Looks like something you might need.
Okay, so who's crackling here? Somebody is making a lot of noise. Oh, it's Nathan. Okay. I'm really happy with Nathan, actually. You know why? Because I was here in March, so Nathan is our dedicated AV guy. So when he saw the videos from Krakow with everybody wearing the headphones, and he was like, oh, I think this is too much for me to do. I'm not sure if I can do it. I say, then you have to do it, because level up yourself. And then what he said to me also was that normally if you have the weddings here, or maybe a party in a temple, what they do is what he calls overproduction. So they put like stacks of speakers and stuff like that, which is totally unnecessary, and then you're having your pad thai or some food, and then you're like blasted away because of the technical guys just wanting to put out as much tech as possible, which is totally unnecessary. So I'm really thankful for him. And I have a question for all of you, because I was curious if any of you have seen Howell. Martin Howell? Yeah, I saw him yesterday. Okay, because, maybe he's stuck in super delayed rush hour traffic? I don't know. Okay, I tried to call him, but yeah, he will be missed for his presentation then. Because we are now going to continue with State of the App session, where a couple of projects will have a bit more limited time, but seeing that Howell is not here, have some more time to introduce themselves. And we have two of the State of the App sessions, today and tomorrow. And today are presenting SteemPlus, and steempress was to present. Or maybe, I saw a video, Vincent, I saw a video, maybe actually he used a video. Maybe we can roll the video. Is it long? Can you see? You saw the video in the... Maybe that's a solution. So we will have SteemPlus and maybe a video in the Howell. Yes. Yeah, 5. Yeah, that one. How long is it? Appeltje info? That's also a way. Okay, so we can roll this maybe. This is Frederica from steempress doing a cameo. You know the guy? Okay, double click and full screen, please. Space.
Hello everyone, this is Frederick here from SteemPress. I hope you've been having a wonderful time at SteemFest so far, and I'm really sorry that I couldn't make it this time around. However, I'm still just as excited to share with you what we believe is a pretty big update on our side. One of the things that got us excited about Steem in the first place was just to imagine what such a diverse and global community could accomplish if it were to come together to co-create the social platform that all of us wanted to be part of in the first place. And then to market it and show it to the rest of the world with a passion that you can only have when you own something yourself, as you do on Steem. That's why we made it a core component of our own growth strategy to include what we call a series of community challenges. Here we will invite designers and artists to contribute to our open community marketing bundle, whether it is with banners or social media friendly images or other marketing material. And we will also invite writers to write articles that are SEO friendly for our own community blog, which will also happen to be a demo for the SteemPress Pro website feature that we're shipping really soon. Last but not least, we are inviting all of you natural hustlers out there and passionate Steemians who just want to approach bloggers and tell them that they should come and try out Steem because it's awesome. For you, we have a new working referral program, and we'll be adding additional bounties for any successful referral of quality websites. To kick off all of these challenges, we are now going to offer 10,000 liquid Steem, as well as 100,000 Steem delegation for 2 months to the early participants in the challenges throughout the rest of the year. So come join us, and if you share our vision for a more open web that anyone can be a part of and own a part of, then let's show the world what it looks like when a passionate community promotes and shares their love for a platform that they themselves own and do marketing not because we have to, but because we want to. I wish you all a further good conference and see you guys around on the blockchain. And now, Halvo, I expect you to carry on the presentation with the exact same level of energy and enthusiasm as I have.
Okay. A great introduction, I must say. Maybe he should do the emceeing next year. I mean, okay, Howell, you got 2 minutes extra to come here, no? Okay. I'm really sorry, but I will try to find his phone number and try to reach out to him normally. Okay, then we have Studkev from SteemPlus, the how do you say, plugin for Chrome and Firefox, sharing his update. So Kevin, did you get a microphone?
Yeah, my name is not Kevin,
okay,
but it's okay.
Yeah, it's great you're here. Okay, so here's. Take it away, man.
Yeah.
Ah, it's gone again.
Sawadee Krab.
SteemPlus. It wasn't there. Yeah.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm Kev from SteemPlus. So what is SteemPlus, in case you don't know? So it's a Chrome, Opera, and Firefox. Actually also works on Brave extension. We have over 2,800 users. It used to be more, but crypto winter happened. We have over 30 features built on top of steemit and BZ mostly. Also one on Steam Monsters. And what we've been trying to do is to give incentives also to users to stay on Steam by getting points when they use the different dApps. And also it's completely customizable, so you can turn on and off the features according to what you want to use. So this is our team. So I'm the founder and the main developer. Cedric is a great developer that's been working with me a lot on the project. Now we're kind of like funding, so less than before. Fabi helped a lot with the design. And also Nate, actually. I don't know where he is. Oh, hey Nate. He helped us last year for making a landing page very fast, so thank you for that. So I will go through a few of the most commonly used features quickly. So you have a voting value slider. You can know how much your vote will be worth. You can delegate directly from steemit and BZ. You have a more accurate icon value description, because actually we use the current price rather than what's done on steemit. You can also see who mentioned you and get a list of the upvotes you received. Get some information about your witness ranks if you're a witness, or actually on any other account. Well, one of the features that's the most liked, I think, is that you can see the list of the upvotes received on the post, and for each of the upvotes you can see the value. Actually, I need to fix this because since the last hard fork, this is not really accurate. Also getting information easily directly on the profile about voting mana and resource credit. And much, much more, because as I say, there's over 30 features. On the latest big update earlier this year, I actually integrated keychain because some of the features actually require to sign transactions on the blockchain. At first, I was just using Steam Connect, but some users, especially power users, are not really comfortable about Steam Connect, so I implemented keychain. Okay, Steem Plus points. That's something I started a year and a half ago. Actually, I wanted a way to keep people using as many dApps built on Steam as much as possible. So the way it works, we give what I call Steem Plus points. They're basically fidelity points. So, for example, when they post to DTube through steemit directly, because you can do that with Steem Plus, there will be a small beneficiary to Steem Plus, and in exchange you get some Steem Plus points. The same when you buy cards on Splinterlands, and also works with Steam Hunt. So because of this, people get Steem Plus points, and according to their part of stakes, they get a Steem Plus upvote daily. So right now we have around 50K Steam power, which is not really big, but still for some users it matters. Okay, so the main reason I'm here is actually to propose some new features to Steem Plus. So some of them are related to the past hard fork. So as I say, I need to fix the vote estimation. And I also would like to make some features related to the proposals. Like, for example, you could go to a post on Steemit or Busy that's related to a proposal and directly upvote it from there. So that would be one of the ideas. Another one is now is a bit troublesome because you need to make a post about a proposal, then you need to create the proposal, and then you need to put the link of the proposal back on the post. So actually you need 3 actions to really create a proposal. So I would like to integrate everything in just one action. Also something I've been requested a lot would be to add on the Steemit wallet directly a list of the Steam Engine tokens users own. Okay, the most interesting thing I would really like to develop, and I think that's very new Steam, would be a semi-automatic curation tool. So basically, the extension will run on your computer as usual. You put a list of users you would like to upvote, but maybe you don't want to upvote all of their posts, only the one you think deserve it. So actually, you will have a small window popping up on your computer saying, okay, this user just posted, and this is the title. You can either do nothing and it will vote at the right time to give you good curation reward, or you can select read and actually read the post before making a choice, or you don't like it and you just cancel the vote. So I think that's a good way to still support the people you follow, but only vote for the right post and still get the right curation because you're still voting at the right time. Also something else I would like to propose is an evolution of a feature that already exists on SteemPlus that's called feedplus that helps you filter and sort the post from your feed. So right now it's just fetching posts on the blockchain and then filtering them and sorting them is quite slow. So I would like to use Archange Steam SQL to do it. Yeah, shout out. Yeah, to get some fast results and do something that could be really helpful, I think, for curation in general. So I'm really busy, and actually this year has been really hard for me to keep working on SteemPlus. But as I say, I have a really great developer that's ready to keep working on it, and I can still put a few hours. So I actually put together last week a Steem proposal. So it's a 6 months duration proposal on which I would like to work or make Cedric work at least 10 hours a week to develop these new features to cover our development cost and also the backend server and maintenance. Because I think our backend also matters because it's used partly by Keychain as well. Yeah, so we have lots of users. They expect SteemPlus to keep working, and I hope we can offer them that. I want to make a series of commitments if we get the funding, because that's something I felt was lacking from the other, some of the other proposals. For me, if we get funding, it's important that the code is open source so that we can, if we decide to stop, at least what we get funded for still belongs to the community. Also, I want to make weekly posts about our updates so that people know that we're actually doing something. And also, if somehow we're not available to work on it, the tokens of the week will be burned. So I'm keeping some time for questions for you guys right now if you want, or you can just find me anywhere and talk to me if you have any more questions. Okay. No questions. I was very clear, I guess. Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Yes. A phone here? No. So, how's my phone? Where's my phone? Okay, so actually, I got good news. I wanted to do the screen share testing. Can I do that, Vincent? Did you find my phone or not? Yeah? You found it? Okay, so I'm looking up the phone technology. I'm sorry, guys. There's always Actually, it's the first time on a stage since 1 year. So I always have the first day to rehearse and then the second day to do the final rehearsal. But then there isn't the third day, so that's always a bit tough. So I'm now... Oh, okay, kap en kap. So because we had this new thing, it's called screen sharing. It's super cool. And that's like awesome, superly awesome. And I could do that, I think. It works, yes, OMG, because I wanted to share with you good news. Let me Google that for you. So what we have here, this is my personal conversation with Howell. I'm sure he doesn't matter that. Oh, so it's really big conversation. So he was happy, then I tried to call him, and then no one joined. And then I asked him, and then he said, so. But the good news is that he said he can be here in like 10 minutes, so maybe he can even make his presentation. But before Howell, I think we should do Martibibis. Martibis. Would you? Yeah, Martibis, eh? Do you think it's a good idea to come up stage and talk a little bit about your new app, which is Have You Been Here? Hey. It's okay. He's already feeling at home. Have you go? Okay. I know it's very intimate and personal conference, but this is like inviting you all at my place.
Hello? Hello?
What? Okay, so let's do the chase. Chase.
Okay.
Chase. Chase is on the...
This is on the case.
Goed. Okay. Kap kom kap. Oh, je mag weer gaan. Yeah, Marty, can you enlighten the audience with the screen sharing is working, so we can do it afterwards? Yeah. You have the phone?
Let me check if it's set up.
Yeah, we'll.
Should just be this, right?
Yeah. Cool.
Perfect.
All right.
So, hello everyone. Very excited to be here. I'm Marty Bies. I'm the founder of Steemit Worldmap. I think that's how most of you might have known me. I'm actually here today to present a new mobile app, which is called Have You Been Here, as you know, might be able to tell. I actually got one.
Exciting.
Do you have that? Yeah.
Ah.
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah.
I didn't have the thing to go to the next slides. So, like I said, most of you know me from Steemit Worldmap. I'm the founder. I think it's really a staple in the Steem community now. I think almost all travel bloggers on Steem are using it right now. It has 45,000 blog posts, of which, the curation team curates them on a daily basis, and 8,500 of those have been upvoted by our curation team over the years. But the thing is, like Steemit Worldmap, it's a really amazing, awesome tool, but you can only use it if you're on the Steem blockchain, right? And we wanted to make it more inclusive and get more people involved, and hopefully also in the long term convert those people into Steem users. And so that's why I started work on development of Have You Been Here, which is the social media platform for and by travelers. And the most important thing is that you can use it instantly, right? So you can either log in with Steem Connect, which I would expect most of you guys to use, but you can also just log in with Facebook, which not a single other Steem project is doing right now. And I think that's a little bit crazy because it's very easy to use, and it's what most people are still used to nowadays. So I'll showcase the app a little bit. I can, if the screencasting is working, I'll be able to show you live what it looks like. So let me get out my phone. So here it goes. Boom, there we are, perfect. So if you go into Have You Been Here, like I said, you can log in with Facebook or with Steam Connect. And actually the first post you see here is from a guy I met in my hostel. He didn't have a Steam account. He logged in using Facebook. There he is. You go on and then you see, you know, that Lev, who is in the room here as well. He's been one of the earliest users now, testing it out, helping me like see if everything works properly. And he's right on there as well. And you can, you know, it's a very easy to use interface. It feels very Instagram-like, which is what a lot of people are used to. You know, let me like your post. There we go. And if we keep going, you have Living UK there as well. And you have my own posts. And if you look at it, all posts are made of different waypoints. So you see, like, it's all based on locations, because it is made for travelers. And then you can, you know, scroll through all the images. There you go. And you might wonder, you know, if you create a post, why would you use waypoints all the time? And I'll showcase you in a bit. If you go to my own personal profile, okay, there we go. So you see, this is my profile, very, you know, easy to use. But you see on the top, you have some different stats. You see the countries you've visited. You can see how many places you've been to. And then I think this is, for me personally, the coolest feature of the app. While you're creating posts, every waypoint has its date and time saved and the location saved to it. So you can create things like this by just selecting a start and an end date, where you have the amount of kilometers you've traveled, the amount of days you've traveled, what places you've been to, and then, you know, when you tap on it, you get taken right into a trip view. So you can really scroll through your entire travels. So let's say, for example, you will be using it here during SteemFest. You can add all your places on it, and it will link them all together for you guys. And then last but not least, within the app, you have your traditional steemit world map feature, because, you know, this is loved by everyone. But with the main difference that now you can have all your waypoints listed instead of just a post, because it's feedback that we've gotten on steemit world map is that people wanted to add their posts on multiple locations. But for steemit world map, that didn't really make sense. But here it's easily doable, because a post consists out of multiple waypoints. And then you get something like this, where you can go and check it all out. And then the more you zoom in, the more accurate the location gets. So I think that's a little bit of a showcase of what Have You Been Here is, what it can do. I think it's a really, really awesome tool for travelers, both on the Steem blockchain and off the Steem blockchain. And I'll go back into the presentation. Oké, moet ik dan even stoppen met kasten? Moet ik dan gewoon even stoppen met kasten? Oké. It's not working. Deze is niet. Sorry, some technical issues. We're getting it sorted. Like one of the main important things for the Steem audience is, of course, you know, how is this going to help onboard, you know, regular social media users onto the Steem blockchain. And what we can do is, because so we start claiming with, accounts, that means we can instantly get people that are interested to get on the Steem blockchain a Steem account. And so they've already been active on Have You Been Here. They like the app just for using it as a social media tool for travelers. And then now they realize they can also get cryptocurrency just by using it and doing what they're already doing. That should make it a really easy, you know, pitch to make to that audience. And then, yeah, long term, we can really start thinking about things where, you know, those people, those users that came in from Facebook, through Facebook login, we can start being like, hey, look, you're now earning cryptocurrency, and you can exchange those for travel services. So imagine, like, for example, you want to book at a place, you can just do it directly, and you wouldn't even really realize you're using a blockchain behind that, which we think is awesome. And then, like, it's always important to also talk of, how are you going to keep it running? And why do you, what do you need to keep it running? So in first instance, we want to, generate enough income that we can just keep the whole project up because, we have developers working on it. We have the curation team behind it. We have the cost of the infrastructure as well. So that all adds up over time. And the second thing is, and this is something that, is something I hold really dear to heart, is that I feel like businesses have a responsibility to really work towards a better world. So what we want to do with Have You Been Here is redirect a part of our profits towards projects that help out with, for example, reforestation or monument care, things that travelers in themselves also care about. And really, that way we can change the world a bit for the better at least. And then there's, we're not going to work with advertisement, which is something that, I feel like it's been coming up a lot today, that people are, using ads and so on. But I feel it's not an effective way of generating income, because if you look at the biggest social media platform out there, which is still Facebook, their revenue is $7 per year per user. It's not a lot considering how many ads you get served, right? And so we're looking at ways that we can, do it differently. And the first and most obvious one is just Steem rewards, because every post that goes through Have You Been Here on the Steem blockchain will get curated by our team, which means we're getting curation rewards in, and hopefully we can cover most of the costs by that. But then long term, like I mentioned before, we want to do bookings that all go through Have You Been Here. And in that way, we can generate an immediate source of income continuously, which, will very likely also exceed that $7 per user that, for example, advertisement social medias use. And then I also want to talk a little bit about the next upcoming features. I think the most important one is the place view. So at the moment, that's not implemented yet. But once you want to go to a place, you will get all the information on a place directly there with all the waypoints that people have added to that place, just right underneath that. And you know that the quality of the content is going to be way higher because people are not sharing it randomly, they're sharing it with their friends. And if you're sharing content with your friends, you want to share good content. That's just how it goes. Then the next thing that I really, really want to implement is I want to make it possible to share to more traditional social media platforms. So right now you can share directly to Steem from Have You Been Here? But I also want to be able to let people share it to Instagram, to Facebook, because that's still where a lot of people are at. And it just makes sense to make it easily shareable there as well. And then the third thing is I want to work on the UX, because there's always ways to improve. I think any developer here will be able to say that, yeah, we can always do better. And I've already talked to a lot of people, a lot of you I see sitting here already, who've given me feedback and are like, oh, maybe you could do it like that, or maybe you can change some things like that. And I really want to take in that feedback and make it better and improve the product over time to where it's something that everybody's happy to use. So also, for those of you who don't know, I have a roundtable session later, so definitely feel free to swing by and give me your thoughts on the project, and let me know what you think, what you would improve, how you would see it going forward, because I'm very curious to hear all of your opinion as well. And then the second to last thing that I really want to add in is optional background location. So what that basically means is, I've showed you the trip view before, but now it just takes the waypoints from the post that you've created. But what we could, theoretically speaking, do is for example, every 1 kilometer you've traveled, you send a little location update to Have You Been Here? And then we can really make your map way more detailed in your trip view, which I think is a really cool tool for travelers, for hikers, for cyclists. And of course, it's completely optional. You can opt into that. It's not something that's always on. And then the last thing is we want to get the iOS version out there as soon as possible. So the code is pretty much done. We just need to test it and then push it live. We're expecting it to be done within 1 to 2 months from now. So I'm really looking forward to also be able to share it with all you iOS users out here. And then of course I do have to say thank you to some very important people. So first and foremost, the Steem World Map team, because while I was developing, I was not the most available, and they've really stepped up and took care of everything that had to be taken care of. 2 of my team are sitting right here, so thank you, Living UK. Thank you, Liz. Give them a big round of applause. They really deserve it. And then second, I want to thank Hume Leadership, which they have been supporting me financially and with counseling over the last 3 months. Without them, the app would not have existed by now. And then last but not least, I want to thank Foundation because they've been a really, really big support to Steem at World Map over the last year, since last SteemFest actually. And yeah, really big thanks to them as well for keeping up the support long term, so we can keep growing, as you see we did. And so last but not least, if you want to get it, you just can go to the website. It's haveyoubeenhere.com. And you can also just go straight type "Have you been here" in Google Play Store, and you'll be able to just get it straight away. So yeah, I see some people are taking some pictures, so I'll step out of the way. So if you want to get a picture in so you don't forget it, this is it. All right. Well, thank you so much for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you.
And can I ask some questions? Is there time for questions, Roland?
I'm not sure. What do you think?
I think so.
Okay. Let's have one.
So if anybody has some questions, feel free to shoot them. Now is your moment. Anybody has any questions? All right. Then I guess everything was pretty clear. So that's awesome.
Well, weren't you doing tomorrow? Maybe a session tomorrow or later?
The roundtable session's later today.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, also if like something would pop up later, swing by that round table and let me know what's up.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys.
Okay. Oh, we do a little cosmetic makeover. This is Varun, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi guys.
Varun, wave to the crowd. Oh no, don't do it because then we drop the thing in. Okay, because we are going to continue with showing stuff about SMTs. That's pretty awesome. I mean, 2 years ago in Lisbon, it was the... No jokes. I wasn't going to make a joke about it. Oh, maybe I was. Oh no, the sponsors are here. No, I mean, come on. Everybody can develop on the Steem blockchain. If you wanted to have it done earlier, you should just put some... Pool commits, or how do you say? I'm a bit nervous now, so I don't know how you say it. On GitHub, code and push it to GitHub. Pull requests, yes. And then you have the verdict of the steemit lords, whether or not it will get included. But actually, blame yourself that it wasn't done earlier. Vandaberg is typing and will be typing on his laptop together with Gerbino. Ladies and gentlemen, main blockchain developers of the Steem chain. And we're going to use the... Okay, so actually in the morning we were discussing that we are going to visit the what, right? So we got the BTS SkyTrain tickets. When this day session is over, when you exit through the gate, there will be somebody giving you a train ticket. And I asked about the precise details about what you can and cannot wear. So listen up carefully. I shall say this only once. No, so it's even divided between male and female, actually. So I'm sorry for that. Gentlemen who are wearing a short cannot wear flip-flops together with a short. If you have that combo, some of you have it. I also have it on the islands, or when I was not standing in front of you. So shorts plus flip-flops is no-go for gentlemen. Also not for female, but then you should really get somewhere close by, like a sarong or something, to cover up your lower part. If you, however, wear shorts and have closed shoes, not like these, so closed ones, I don't know, regular shoes, then you're okay to go. Also, gentlemen, if you happen to wear, like Roadscape, long pants, and flip-flops, you are lucky because you can go and you don't need a sarong. And the females, please yeah, no sexy. It stays the same. So if you have something to cover up your shoulders, please do. And I hope, yeah, the length is, I think, over the knees, minimum. So please, if you have, you know, showing the bare knees, it's too sexy. So no sexy, please. Tonight at bowling, sexy. Thank you. Did you manage to?
Yeah, we'll connect once we get started.
Ah, okay, cool. Okay, please. Thank you. Some water here.
All right, so we'll talk about some SMTs, which I don't know about the rest of you guys. We got SMTs done and on the test net, and it was a bit surreal because we had been talking about SMTs for over 2 years now, and just with everything going on, things got delayed, and you know what? We're happy we're finally getting around to it. I did want to introduce, you guys met him earlier today. This is Steve. He is the other blockchain developer. We brought him on about, 15 or 16 months ago. And he's been absolutely instrumental in development of SMTs, of Mira, anything that's happened over the last year. Steve has had his hands in it, and truly, I'm thankful to have him on our team. So will you guys just give Steve a big old round of applause? He does so much. So I'm gonna hand over to him because this is a bit of his baby right here. So there you go.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's been about a little over a year since I've been working on Steem, since I even knew about Steem. And you know, I was really impressed with the project. It's really an honor to get to work on such an innovative open source project. And I'm proud of all the work that we were able to do in the last year. I'm pretty excited to show you guys. So you guys want to see how to create an SMT? Yeah? All right, let's show them. It's coming, I promise.
Switch on and off the Wi-Fi.
Technical difficulties. Please hold.
We tested it earlier and it all worked.
Oh, there we go. All right, Mike, take it away.
I was like, first of all, I just want to say this is pre-production software. Where it's still being developed, but we're really happy with where it is at right now. We're going to continue to be developing it throughout the testnet process, and we're hoping to make this live for all of you after SteemFest.
All right. Are you going to do the first? You got the first one. I'll do the first one. Okay. So in this example here, this is going to be our minimum viable token, we're calling it. Basically, the goal here is to create a token and give all of the newly created tokens to the founder. This is the first page of a multi-step form that will begin the SMT creation process here. So just a little rundown of what you're looking at. Control account, that's the owner of the SMT. How many total tokens. The contribution time and launch time, this is ICO parameters basically. It opens up the process to allow other people to make contributions to the ICO to contribute to its success. And then we have the caps, the soft caps, and the pre and post soft cap. So basically, this is just a way for you to incentivize users to contribute to your ICO, and basically you can choose to reward people for being early adopters and trickle off over time. So let's take a look at the next page here. So the next step, we're talking about voting parameters. This is basically proof of brain, what kind of features you want your specific token to have. These are something you probably are already familiar with if you use Steem, but you know, cash out window, the curation rewards, this is all configurable. And right now, you can set the author and curation reward curves to your liking. So that'll be completely customizable. Yeah, so you'll be able to turn on and off allow voting. You can't really tell too well with the screen, but if you trigger it, yeah, you can't really tell, but they get grayed out a little bit. All right, so let's just go to the next screen here, and there we go. Okay, so token emissions are basically how your token will inflate over time, and you can specify n number of token emissions. You can customize these pretty intensely. For this particular example, like I said before, we're just going to create a token, and we're going to give everything to ourselves. This is a selfish token, right? So this is basically saying, give all tokens to extra test. We're going to have one large 1 million token inflation at the scheduled time. This is basically your minimum viable token, the simplest. Okay, and let's add another emission unit. So basically now, if you wanted to have multiple people receive tokens when they're inflated, you would simply add this out here, and with this configuration, you'll see that basically this guy Jarvie will receive 4 times as many tokens as Andrarchy and Extra Test, and so on. Bernie Sanders will get twice as many as the other ones. It's basically your simplest token, and creating this will actually create the SMT on the testnet. Yep, and that's it. I mean, it'll go right on the testnet. It's that easy. Yeah, no code, no code. All right, so you want to take it away for the second token? All right.
So for this one, we wanted to show off a little bit more of the ICO features, that the ICO is configurable to actually capture ICOs that have happened in the past. So this one is based on the Binance ICO. So a few things that are different from the last one. We have values for the minimum contribution, soft cap, and hard cap that are more realistic. So these guys, maybe they're getting a little greedy with a million Steem hard cap, or they just have a really, really good idea and they know they're going to make it, right? So the basic idea is based off of Binance's ICO is they had a multi-phase ICO, and in each phase it was accepting the same number of tokens but paying out fewer and fewer. And so the earlier you got in, the more Binance you got, and if you bought in later, you got less. So that's how we've expressed this here is these are the Steem token units. So the way we have it split up here is because there's a total of 4, that means every 4 Satoshi of Steem is 1 token unit and will generate a proportional number of SMT token units. In this case, every SMT token unit is now worth 250 divided between the from and then the control account and then a founder. This over here all happens before the soft cap of 500,000 Steem. Once we're past 500,000 Steem, we begin using the post soft cap routing. The Steem units are the same. However, the token units, I can get out of the way here, the token units only add up to 230, not 250. And so after we're past the soft cap, you will be rewarded with fewer SMT tokens than you would prior. And so we can capture those same mechanics here. And then for this one, everything else is the same. We're not allowing voting. And then we actually don't have any token emissions on this coin. Everything is done as part of the ICO, and then there's no more inflation. And of course, all of that is configurable if you want something different. And we can go ahead and create that one as well.
All right, so this last token example is basically the most complex setup. Basically, the point here is to show you all the different destination routes, special routes that when you can create when you create a token. I'll explain the differences. If you look here, we'll start at pre-soft cap. You'll see that there's some special account names. It's denoted by a $, market maker, and vesting. This is an account name .vesting. It's $! account name .vesting. The UI will be improved. You won't really need to know that, but you know, coming soon. So what this is saying is that since we're in Steem units, your contribution in Steem units will end up getting routed into the market maker, which is coming soon. And this is basically going to force the control account, or whoever's account here, to automatically vest the contributed tokens. And this will be liquid Steem to that account. If you look at the token units here, you'll see a few new special destination routes. $from is the person who has contributed Steem to your ICO. So this will go to the guy who gave you some Steem. This is the tokens that will go to him, liquid. The rewards fund is $rewards, so you could pre-populate the rewards pool from the ICO funding stage. And also to the market maker to provide liquidity immediately when your token is created. And again, you could force a specific account to vest the newly created tokens. I think I'm using basically the same ones here, but since this is post-soft cap, after you've reached the contribution soft cap, then these new values over here will be applied. All right, so this is nothing really new here. We're just going to say 25% of the rewards go for curation. We chose linear and square root for the curves. And we've also shortened the cash out window. I believe for Steem it's a week, and we decided that for our particular token, we want that to be much shorter, and you'll be able to configure that. So when we get here, we get to the token emission. So you could, like I said before, you could have n number of token emissions, but you could also specify that this token emission applies indefinitely. Again, this is another place that we will be improving the user interface. Right now, this is the magic number that says this applies forever. So again, like the post-soft cap, pre-soft cap area, you have these special destinations. So as this token goes on in time, you'll be rewarding, funding the rewards pool and the vesting. And this is one of the more complicated tokens that you can create. It's very it behaves similar to Steem. And yeah, that's that. Cool.
So all of these tokens are now on the public testnet. So you can connect up and play around with them if you're a developer. Please try to break them. And I think one of the cool things, because of this project, all the back end here is being powered by Steem.js. The transactions are being signed and broadcast. It's all doing client-side signing is secure, and and we actually, got one of our client libraries updated early in order to support this. We're planning on also updating, I believe, Steam Python shortly. But I think having those is done now is huge for our testing because it lowers the barrier to use SMTs for all of our developers. And like I said earlier, we'll be hosting the Wizard publicly after SteemFest so that all of you can use it and play around with SMTs on the testnet. And we're really looking forward to both you breaking the website and also breaking SMTs. I just think for us, this is really exciting to get this in your hands sooner than later. One of the biggest challenges we have is how do we align incentives for our amazing developers to test software with us, especially when this is a in-depth and sometimes tedious process. And we want to make sure that incentives are aligned for you, the developers, and us to ensure that everything is released in a high quality state, it's bug-free. And I think with SMTs, we'll be able to deliver on the highest quality code that we've ever released. So thank you very much. Roland, do we have time for some questions? If anybody has any?
Yes, you can have some questions, guys.
All
no
right.
problems. Take it away. I think there are some.
So once a token is created, is there any way to go back and edit the parameters after it's created?
So in the consensus logic, there's an operation that kicks everything off. In the UI right now, it bundles all of that together and sort of kicks everything off at once. But we could extend that to allow you to edit things before finalizing. So the consensus protocol supports it. We just need to extend the UI to do so as well. Next question.
Congratulations on releasing SMTs, guys. Thank you. Massive, massive news. One of the things I understand is this version of SMTs are kind of maybe a more simplified initial version, right? And there's some scope or plans to develop them further as we go forwards. So one of the things we're really looking forward to, especially with the 3speak tokens, are kind of building our own solutions and hacking away at it to try to combine SMTs to make them do what we want them to do. And hopefully be able to work with you guys in the future to identify common things that other SMTs are doing to hack on a regular basis and try to build them into the base layer. Is that something that you guys would be happy to work with over the next coming months and hopefully months?
Yeah, absolutely. So you said it's a little bit of a lighter SMT. Actually, the only feature that was originally promised with SMTs that's not shipping immediately is the on-chain market maker. But we are allowing in the initial creation of SMTs to specify funds to the market maker so that when that becomes active, you'll already have funds there. And as far as adding new features, we are already looking forward to sort of version 2 of SMTs, what things need to be added. But even now in our testing phase, if there's glaring omissions that we can add with a minimal amount of effort and testing that are going to significantly improve the effectiveness of SMTs and their use cases, that is feedback that we want. So I would say, as you're using this, communicate your wish lists to us and let us know all the things you want, because maybe there's something you want that seems super easy and is difficult, but you also might think something super difficult and is really easy for us to add. Right now, it's a little bit of a balancing act between making sure that SMTs are as complete as possible for release and getting them released in a timely manner, because we've all been waiting for it for a long time, and we don't want to delay SMTs any longer than we have to. And so any changes at this point have to be viewed from that lens. But as far as future features are concerned, we're super open to suggestions.
Well, can I start off with a suggestion?
Please. And then DM me in the Steam Dev Slack.
Yeah, we'll do. It's not something we want to do immediately, but we certainly, I don't know if you saw, we presented 2 tokens, a governance or maybe equity or governance type token and a utility type token, where the utility inflation is driven by a stake held in the governance token. And I appreciate you can't do that immediately, but it's certainly something that we'll be looking to do with our dev team to try to make that happen. We'll probably have to do a few simplified hacks initially, maybe do a replacement version 2 or 3, but maybe that's something we can work on together in the future.
Absolutely. Let's talk more.
Thank you.
This looks nice. Are you guys planning on allowing Keychain to go authorize creating all these tokens?
So right now it's just using its own client-side signing. We can look into Keychain to see what sort of integrations we could do. This was developed just really to get it up as quickly as possible, and it'll be a public open source repo like all of our other products. And if we don't get around to it, others are more than, like we will willingly accept PRs.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Second question is, like the second that we started allowing this stuff on Steam Engine, there were questions around legalities and questions around scams. So like nearly immediately, people started doing fake tokens that were other cryptos, named after other cryptos, meant to go attract money and had zero intention of providing them the benefit or an exchange, although that's what it was designed to look like. How can you guys protect users from obvious scams? And then secondarily, there's a whole legality around like token creation. I'm curious what your thoughts are on like how to deal with SEC, or what's going to happen if a whole bunch of people start doing security tokens on Steam. What do you see as the repercussions for that? Is this all good? Is that not something that Steam or steemit has to worry about? So what to do about scams and how to handle it if you have like unlicensed securities that are part of this?
So as far as scams are concerned, all SMTs on chain are referred to by what we call a numerical asset identifier, or a NAI. So we don't have any symbols on chain that you would know, no ticker symbols on chain. This is how Ethereum handles their tokens, and those ticker symbols we will provide a service that will allow public access of a mapping between the tokens and the NAIs. And so our goal is to combat scams, people trying to make their SMT look like an existing token at that layer by simply not allowing them to map their SMT to an existing ticker. And then as far as SEC regulations, we've communicated with our legal counsel, and where we stand is, I mean, Ethereum's never, like the Ethereum Foundation's never been held responsible for ICOs that have taken place on Ethereum. And as far as ICOs, it seems to right now that whether or not you are ruled a security has a lot to do with how your token is advertised. What promises are you making in your marketing? And so a lot of that is going to be dependent upon the SMT creators themselves to ensure that they're marketing in such a way that their tokens are not ruled as securities. But on the other hand, if they want to rule their token as a security, I don't believe that there is any harm to the Steem blockchain itself if securities are on it. There are securities on the Ethereum blockchain that are not negatively impacting Ethereum at all.
All right, thank you.
Hey guys, thanks a lot for creating a form, basically a form version of creating a token. That's the stuff that I was waiting actually for 3 years from any project out there. So thanks a lot for that. Yeah, but my main question is, are you going to like maybe this is one of the suggestions, is to split all of the advanced stuff and the simple process into like two separate like views for people who want to create like simple tokens, because all of this is way too complex for an average person to launch a token. So this should be for advanced people, and there should be like a 50% reduced version of all of this for like average guys, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, some of our examples, there is a good amount of like boilerplate values. Simply, if you want to do a token of this form, then we know like these values don't matter. And so that is something we'd like to add as more dynamic display in the wizard, so that you can say, I just want an ICO, or I want like a simple token, and it will automatically then hide the other options for you. With this initial version of the wizard, our goal was to get all of the options out there and working, and then we can take that and we can improve the user experience to make it simpler. But right now we have a fully functional wizard. Anything that you can configure on SMTs is currently configurable here, and then we'll work on streamlining it as we move forward towards release.
All right, got it. And another question is, are you planning to, like, there are like ICOs, STOs, IEOs, like different types, whatever EOs out there, right? People will come up with different versions of funding, getting funding, even DAO, whatever. So maybe is there any like plan, like long-term plan, to add different types of fundraising processes? Because sometimes you don't even want to launch an ICO, you just want to launch a token for a community or something.
So the first example that we displayed actually skips the entire ICO. There are still sort of ICO values in the token configuration, but it effectively does not have an ICO. The single large emission then at launch time creates a bunch of tokens, gives it to the founder, and now you just have a token supply to play around with. So that's, going back to your first question, that's something we want to do in the UI, is for those more common scenarios that bypass large features of SMTs, we can hide those options from the user, and maybe, I think when it looks simpler, they'll have a better assurance that they're actually creating the token that they want to create.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Johnson from CoinGecko. So I have one question, is that since you are doing SMT, so I want to know more about like how do you guys have contact any exchanges and stuff like that? Because if you are building a coins, right, a coin most likely they want to be listed in exchanges. So I would know more like from your perspective, have you created, I know you created a standard, but have you tried to approach any exchanges to show this standard so that it can be used as useful as like ERC20? Because for example, for ERC20, when an exchange support ERC20, it's going to be very helpful to add in another new coins, which is like a seamless integration. It's going to be very fast if the exchange support ERC20. So this, have you talked to any exchanges? I would like to know more about this, yeah.
So I don't believe we've talked to exchanges directly about SMTs and about SMT integration. However, the interfaces that exchanges will use to track SMT balances, deposits, withdrawals are the exact same interfaces that they're already using to track Steem. It's the same account balances, transfer formats, and all of that. So any exchange who is currently supporting Steem can support an SMT with minimal effort on their part.
All right, I understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the question is about airdrops. So basically, obviously, it's not part of the issuance, but are there any tools and any processes to simplify airdrops?
So we haven't written any tooling specifically for the airdrop, but our plan as far as how to support that on the SMT side is you would create a token with that one single emission, and then it would be your responsibility as the token creator to then airdrop to the correct accounts when when they register their off-chain account and then to their Steem account, then you can create the transfer and send them the tokens that they're deserving of.
So it's better, essentially a matter of RC credit that I need to spend to do that so many transactions, like 500,000 transactions?
You need the RCs, but also transfers are the cheapest operation from RCs. So I think you could do it with a lesser amount, and with RC delegations coming in SMTs, I think it'll be really easy for you to find some support amongst the community to get those RCs if that's the only thing holding you back. I think those opportunities will be available.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we're all excited about this. So what happens when they become very popular and a lot of people do it in combination with the communities? How's that going to impact our capacity on Steem to handle a lot of success, perhaps? Like, yeah, that's the question.
So all SMT operations are still being funded with RCs. You still need RCs to do anything. And any sort of background tasks such as market maker operations or token emissions for an SMT, SMTs themselves are actually a valid RC delegation target. And so if you have a very popular SMT, the users of that SMT can delegate a small portion of their RCs to the SMT to fund all of the background tasks that an SMT has to do. And then the benefit of that is if an SMT is dead, it won't have the RCs to do anything. And so it's only taking up state, not any computational resources.
So do you envision there'd be some sort of overloading where RCs then become really expensive? Because it fluctuates, right?
Correct. So the way RCs are designed right now is we have essentially quotas of what is a reasonable blockchain growth for all of these different resources. If we hit those quotas, then we will either need to, we will need to look at, other optimizations, or perhaps the network as a whole, perhaps all the witnesses are okay with growing at a faster rate, in which case we reconfigure our Cs and it rebalances the price.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We're really, like I said, we're really excited for you guys to get your hands on this and start creating some SMTs.
Okay, so nice. Next year we can issue the SteemFest tickets on.
Absolutely.
Nice. Looking forward. Okay, guys. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So what's happening now is that we got him. Howell will come up on the stage in a minute, and oh, I'm standing like this now. We got him. Roundtable sessions are starting. So there are 3 roundtable sessions today. One is Starkers, who's in the side alley. He's just, say hello. Hi, Starkers. Matt is from 3speak, and he's looking for people to help them find new people. So we were just making a joke about multi-level marketing. So he will be talking about 3speak in the roundtable area. It's below the House Museum. Also, do visit the House Museum just for a brief moment. And then we have got Anthony Davisi, and he wants to talk about Steem anti-abuse. He used to be a former utopian anti-abuse product owner, and he wants to discuss, if you are interested, with you about this matter. And lastly, we have, of course, Martibis Tibut from Have You Been Here, who just displayed his app. If you have any feedback or requests, because it's actually, I'm pretty amazed by the guy, because he learned to code to make this app. He learned to code first, so it's his first app, and user feedback is most important. So it's below the House Museum, but I also get it that you will want to stay for the man of the moment, the man of the bed, the man of the non-malfunctioning alarm clock, the man whom I just showed our messages about. Ladies and gentlemen, it's him. Hello. Good morning.
Thank you.
Do you want a clicker?
Do have any
Yeah,
things
they stole the clicker again.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for coming so early. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so SteemPress. So I'm Martin List. I'm the co-founder of SteemPress with Frederica, who sadly couldn't come here. But I heard you saw from him already. So for the past year, we've been very busy at improving a lot of stuff about SteemPress, mainly the user interface. We basically took the comment section and did it from the ground up. Really wanted to have a few features that were not available at first, including the ability to have anyone comment on it, so guest login. This means that anyone who wants to have a blog, you can have a Steam-powered comment section if you cannot have someone who's outside of Steam comment on your blog. So that's not possible, and we actually see a lot of activity on that. And we wanted to build it much more friendly for any blog to be used, so it's much more mobile friendly. It has a much more neutral color theme so that it can fit on any kind of blog. So we've really worked a lot on our comment section, and we're quite proud of it. But we are even prouder of our referral program. So it's a huge setup that we've launched, which allows anyone to actually refer a blog. And if you are referred, you can actually earn 10% of what SteemPress would earn. And instead, that money goes to you forever. So there is a real incentive to help communities reach out to any blogs that they like and actually get them to Steam. Because one of the biggest issues with Steam, as always, is onboarding, and we really try to solve that thanks to community efforts and really providing good incentives to come here. We are very focused on quality, so there is a review process to know if we will actually create an account or not for your blog. But once we are through, and we get a lot of we get a lot of blog requests, probably 10 or 20 every day, and we try to go through all of them in about 12 hours. So please, if you have anyone that you know who is a blogger, please go and tell them to go through the referral system, and you can actually earn through them. We've also been beta testing SteemPress Pro, which is a big feature that's coming up. It's been coming up for quite some time, and now it's basically done, but we don't want to share it to the whole public for now, because we want to make it perfect before we actually launch it. Basically, the idea is to have a blog, and we found that there is a lot of the bigger blogs which have a lot of authors on it, want to have some more custom way of managing the beneficiaries. So that includes having 0 beneficiaries to SteemPress and having some ways of doing like, okay, so I have the blog, and you're an author, so you get 80% of the earnings, and I get 20% of the earnings. And the way it works right now in the blog community is that it has to be some form of trust between the blog owner and the writer, whereas thanks to Steem, we can actually decentralize that and have that as a trustless way of sharing things, where you can actually, well, all of that happens, the split happens when you post on the blockchain, and then the money gets shared automatically, which is really, really cool. Now, Frederic will do a video that you already saw. So what we are having up next, basically we will do a huge discover page. This is intended also to do onboarding, but also to carry on after it's onboarding and try to keep people as focused on Steam as possible. The idea is to kind of be the medium of SteemPress, where you have a lot of blogs that are all referenced on the same place, and you can actually have a kind of a community platform where everyone will come together at the same place and try to discover a blog, engage with each other, etc. We will also do content marketing, where we'll ask, we are actually asking right now to you guys to come to us and write content for us, because we actually really want to have more writers to be writing basically content of any kind on SteemPress. This includes content marketing, tips and tricks for WordPress, SEO, that can be a lot of things. And basically the idea is to have a lot of competitions where we have people who will write content, including educational content mostly, and we will publish it, giving you exposure. And as Frederica mentioned, we will be giving away 100,000 Steem delegation and 10,000 Steem to give away to all of these content creators that they can earn through the competitions that we will announce shortly. And finally, we will change our curation guidelines completely. Right now, the biggest issue with the curation guidelines that we have is that it's too much focused on Steem success, and we don't want to have people to be too focused on focusing on Steem. The issue with focusing on Steem is that once you are inside of Steem, you don't want to share your blog anywhere else than Steem, because everyone who can give you money is in Steem, and you want to share your blog to other Steemians, which creates an echo chamber where you have no incentive to actually go out and share your blog with other people, which means that you also don't share Steem with other people that are outside of Steem, so you don't actually get more people in, which is a huge issue. So we've decided to change our curation guidelines to take into account more of external factors, like how well is your blog ranked on Google, how many views do you get, how many people do you get from outside commenting on your blogs. And so we want to incentivize people to work together and have like the incentives to be aligned with the general growth of Steem instead of just the general growth of their own Steem power from within Steem. So we're going to do, well, it's already done, but we're going to do a statistics page where you can see all of your stats, and underneath you can actually see a few recommended tips. This is from the content marketing that I mentioned earlier, where basically we'll show you stats. We'll be, okay, so your stats are good here, they are good here, but you are lacking in that direction and that direction. And so you can actually improve that way. And the way to receive more support from SteemPress, you have to improve in that direction. And we've also set the whole thing in a way so that you cannot like be very good in one spot and very bad in the other. If you want to get to the next support level, you have to be good everywhere, and then you can get to the next support level. So yeah, the idea is really to gamify the whole SteemPress experience and getting better at Steem. We really want to encourage people to be better at it and no longer be like passive and be like, okay, I'll just publish my post and wait to see if a whale can notice me. Really want people to take action, to talk to other people through that panel, where they can actually see who are their top supporters, who's voting me, how much engagement am I getting on blogs, and we really want them to get better at it, and we're here to help them do that. So thank you very much, and that was SteemPress. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them to me.
Thank you. Thank you, Hao.
Thank you.
Tomorrow, Hao has another presentation,
Yay.
so he has another chance.
Perhaps I'll miss it. You don't know.
Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., the
know.
buses leave from Prince Palace Hotel.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So you can borrow my phone. It also has an alarm clock. No? Okay, see you, see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot, Hao. Okay, we have a small break here. The bar has opened. I also have brought some bottles of Sangsom. I saw some of you guys were going crazy on the Sangsom rum and Coke yesterday, or even without the Coke. I will give them to the bartender. And we continue in about 20 minutes, okay? Thank you. And cheers. Kapkumka. Yeah, oh, thank you, Gandalf. Thank you. Oh, yeah, okay.
see people running around, talking such a world of doubt. Be close to me. Let my tenderness seep deep inside you, filling you up with a cozy dream. Joy, can this be all we are? Can this be all we are and all we'll ever be? Love and joy, you and me. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Stay close to me. There's far too many accidents and hearts colliding, not another casualty. Be close to me. Let my loneliness inform you just how sweet my love will be. Joy, if this is all we are, if this is all we are and all we'll ever be, love and joy, that's fine with me. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, can this be all we are? Can this be all we are and all we'll ever be? Love and joy, you and me. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. to me. Watch out for the crazy people running around, talking such a world of doubt. Be close to me. Let my tenderness seep deep inside you, filling you up with a cozy dream. Joy, can this be all we are? Can this be all we are and all we'll ever be? Love and joy, you and me. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Stay close to me. There's far too many accidents and hearts colliding, not another casualty. Be close to me. Let my loneliness inform you just how sweet our love will be. Joy, if this is all we are, if this is all we are and all we'll ever be, love and joy, that's fine with me. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, can this be all we are? Can this be all we are and all we'll ever be? Love and joy, you and me. Joy, 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 joy.
All right, thanks, guys. So good afternoon, everyone. So today we are from CoinGecko. Today we're going to share a bit about our approach of using Steem as an effective marketing channel. So stay until the end. We have some surprises at the end. Okay. So before we start, we would like to express our gratitude to Roeland for hosting this SteemFest in Bangkok for the first time in Asia, and then also inviting us as a guest speakers. So a bit about ourselves. It's not working. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, a bit about ourselves. I'm Johnson, software engineer at CoinGecko.
Hi, I'm Christian. Some of you may know me as Awesomeanist on Steem. I'm a market research analyst for CoinGecko.
All right, so today our agenda goes like this. We're going to start by talking who are we, why is Steem a suitable platform for marketing, our marketing strategy that we have done on Steem, and our future plans on what we plan to do on Steem. So for those who don't know who are we are CoinGecko, one of the biggest cryptocurrency website that use data from exchanges, and we provide act as a cryptocurrency aggregator. Sorry. So we are one of the top 10 cryptocurrency websites in the world, and on average we have around 50 million page views per month. And then what we want to do is that we want to provide you guys a 360-degree views of the whole cryptocurrency market. And we also provide data not just for cryptocurrency, we also provide data for exchanges, derivatives, and also futures. Okay, so this is our team. We are a team of dozen, and it's based in Malaysia. Malaysia is just 2 hours flight from here. If you guys have any plan after SteemFest, can just come to our country, Malaysia, and we can have a lunch or something. Okay, just ping us up if you really want to come to Malaysia for a visit. It's a great country. Okay, so moving on, we are one of the largest cryptocurrency websites in the world, and on average 15 billion monthly visits, and we track more than 6,000 coins and close to 400 exchanges. Did I press the wrong thing? Oh.
Yeah, in fact, 2019 has been a very busy year for CoinGecko. Just last September, we announced a new trust score algorithm to help combat fake exchange volumes. So for context, the number of exchanges over the past couple of years, especially, has been popping up exponentially, right? More and more exchanges are coming up, and in order to compete in such a new and, more importantly, unregulated environment, these exchanges, they resort to pumping up their volume either through wash trading, which is something used to describe trading against exchange, trading against each other for fake volume, or some of them even just outright publish fake data to the users, right? So this, what happens is traders, they are increasingly unsure of which exchange are actually possessing of real liquidity and trading volume. And so knowing this, we come up with this algorithm to not just report whatever volume that exchanges they publish, but we look into the data, right? We dive into their order book depth analysis. We look at their scale of operations. We look at the trade history to look for certain patterns. We also
the page view of the
So we also using an algorithm to determine the normalized volume based on the number of visitors on the exchanges, as well as telling users telling the users the exchanges KYC and regulatory compliance, as well as their reserves, their cryptocurrency reserve. Those things, I wouldn't say it can't be manipulated, but it will be extremely hard for exchange to manipulate, right? So that is trust core. So in support of the DeFi space, the decentralized finance space, CoinGecko, we're also an oracle on the Chainlink and the band protocol network. So an oracle is basically a middleware to connect data from one network to the other. So in our case, using our API to connect straight onto the Ethereum network through these two projects. So this, similarly, we also do something of the like on the Steem blockchain as well, which Johnson will explain later in a while.
Right, enough about us. Today is all about Steem, okay? Why we think that Steem is a good marketing channel? First of all, we've been tracking Steem since 2016, which is the year that Steem is created. And thank you for all of you that are using CoinGecko for tracking the Steem price, and also those dApps that are using CoinGecko as our API provider for the website that you are using for the Steem pricing. Speaking of dApps, so these are some stats that we collected from about Steem. So Steem blockchain has a very big presence in the world. We're talking about the World Wide Web, okay? So for Steem dApps, they have a total of 10 million page views in a month, which is a very significant value. Some of the notable dApps is steemit.com, DTube, Busy, Steempic, and Splinterland. What we've been trying out also, not just on posting on Steem, we also tried to use some other platforms like dApps like DTube as well.
So another reason why we find Steem as a suitable sort of marketing channel is because we all know Steemians are very, very engaged on the Steem blockchain as compared to the normal, more traditional social media, right? And in our cases, it's compounded, the benefits are compounded when, as a Steemian, all of you already know cryptocurrency, all of you already know blockchain, and to an extent, all of you already know how to trade. It's the perfect audience for us as a crypto data aggregator. So although the number of audience on the Steem blockchain may be small relative to, say, Facebook, Instagram, or whatnot, we would say that the quality of the audience on the Steem blockchain is much, much higher than, say, for example, Instagram. You can see the sort of comments, the low quality comments on there versus the ones on the Steem blockchain. Right. And if you haven't heard, CoinGecko is on Steem. So we created an account back in 2017. Our co-founders, they registered the CoinGecko at CoinGecko just to hold, to prevent squatters. But last year, when myself and Subaru, we came into the team, we started
pitch the ideas,
We pitched the idea to them and to say, hey boss, look into Steem, it's something worth doing. And yeah, they accepted the proposal, and we invested 3 Bitcoin worth of Steem power to power up our account. Back then, one Steem was 80 cents. Yeah. But the way we see it is that this investment is, we are not looking for financial ROI, right? It's more on marketing and brand awareness because you guys liking us, money cannot buy that, right? Bitcoin cannot buy that. Thank you very much. So yeah, and now 1 year down the road, our bosses, they are quite a strong supporter of using Steem as a marketing channel. Okay. So one of our marketing approach is to run contests, everyone's favorite, right? So I want to talk a bit about delegation. From our point of view, we think that delegation is a very, very, very great way to market your brand and your product. Because to delegate, you do not need any upfront sort of budget anymore, because you've already invested, you've already staked your Steem power on the blockchain. It's yours to do however you like. And it's real value, right? Users, they like to be delegated. Like, who here would not say no to 1,000 SP delegation? I know 1,000 SP isn't that much right now, but who would say no, right? And overall, we had a lot of fun doing contests on the Steem blockchain. And one of the most memorable contests that we've done was this one time when we asked the Steem community to like snap a picture of your local cuisine and talk about it in a Steem post. So we got quite a handful of submissions from all over the world, but the one that really spoke to us was this one from Olivia, who is from Philippines, the northern Philippines. Because of Steem, she saw our contest and then she wanted to win some SP. She wrote a post about her native banana chocolate roll of Philippines. Looks good, I think. And she, more importantly, she also talked about her life in northern Philippines. How is it in the jungles, and what is she doing there? How kids are like, and things like that. And that one particularly really spoke to us because we realized, right, a tech company based in anywhere in the world actually, but in our case is Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, can actually reach out to a woman literally in the middle of a jungle using Steem. Like, how amazing is that, right? Thanks. And more amazingly, when we look back and to do a case study on this effort, we realized that I actually told my boss, like, you know what? Did we just accidentally committed a CSR, corporate social responsibility effort using the Steem blockchain? Because it kind of sounds like, yeah, our delegation gave her some more to her votes, and then those votes actually paid for her meals and things like that. So yeah, we just committed a CSR using the blockchain without even realizing it. That blows my mind.
All right.
Another approach that we undertake on the Steem blockchain is also using our expertise as a research platform to come up with the Steem report. So this Steem report is tailored for casual users who wants to know more about the Steem blockchain, the basics of it, as well as some interesting and shareable facts. We don't have too much time to delve, so I'll just quickly choose a random page, this one. So if you look at this without knowing what the Steem blockchain is, it's kind of interesting in our point of view, right? We all know Hey I'm Danger, we all know Friedrich, but do you know that we had literal celebrities who posted on the Steem blockchain, right? So during our research, we find this fact to be very interesting because the third guy, Neil Strauss, in case you don't know, Neil Strauss is a best-selling author and a writer for the New York Times magazine, the Rolling Stones magazine, Esquire, GQ, and things like that. He also wrote a few best-selling books. T.J. Kirk, otherwise known as the Amazing Atheist, is a social activist and a very famous YouTuber with 1.9 million YouTube subscribers, as well as our favorite guy, Andres Antonopoulos, who made a single post and got $1,000 just for that. So it's kind of amazing. And we hope that slides like this, facts like this, is worth sharing to your non-Steeman friends just to show them like, hey, this is what you could probably make. Maybe not, but the chance is there.
All right. So this is one of our what we did recently with the steemit team. You guys met Andrew, right? Okay. So we had one of our co-founder Bobby have a podcast with steemit team where we talk about our new feature Trust Score we explained previously, and this is one of the examples that our marketing effort paid off. So then this podcast is being featured on steemit.com, which is amazing because we got so many publicity. We got half of the Steem reward as well.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew.
All right, moving on. We're also running winners early this year. Before this, we have been running a lot of masternodes and deposit-based blockchain. One of our notable achievement is that we are the second top voted masternodes in Tomo chain, and also we run on IOTeX, IOST. So we learned that all this knowledge that we learned, we think that Steem is a very good opportunity to add into our portfolio as well, because we are on Steem. Why not? We already know all this architecture, infrastructure stuff. And
so to be very transparent, we're not making any money through our witness node. We're just doing it because of our passion to Steem.
Actually, we already learned a lot of things actually while running. This is some of our spec that we have. We run on Google Cloud Platform, one of the most secure and popular platform. And 10 cores CPU and 64 GB RAM and it hosted on US. So these are some of our stats that we collected. So we like stats, a lot of stats. So we want to thank everyone that voted us. There are 475 voters where we started early this year. And then we got voted around 10.8 million SP. And then we are currently 52nd witness on Steem. And then we mine around 14 blocks per day. One of our initiative as a witness is that we created a script. Because in the past we find that some of the scripts in the open source there for, sorry, I want to give a background story first. So as a witness, is a witness responsible to give about like the pricing of the Steem at a certain point of time. So what we did is that we get a price from our website using WebSocket and we just dispatch into the Steem blockchain. So this was what Chris mentioned just now about connecting our API to the blockchain. So we did a script, something like that. Yeah. So this is open source. You can just check it out. If you are a witness, you can just use this script. It's totally open source and it's Dockerized. You can just use one command, Docker compose, and you can just deploy. All right. Moving on, this is our fifth approach that we did is we reaching out to all those Steem projects. Just this year, we listed 2 projects as on Steem. Build Team. Build Team is one of the company that built on top of Steem. And then Steem Hunt, also known as Hunt Platform. They use a ERC20 token, so we can just, they are listed on some exchanges, so we just add them into our websites. So we do expect more and more coins coming up when SMT launch. That's why, well, just I asked about the questions, whether the exchanges, stuff like that. Because we really want to list coins when SMT launch.
So, what are some of our plans on Steem in the future? Firstly, as mentioned, we've done the Steem 2018 report. We're going to do a Steem 2019 report. If you have any feedback, if you have any suggestion on what to include, if you want to collaborate with us even to create this report, because we share them to our audience, our 15 million plus viewers, do reach us, do hit us up, do talk to us. We are all ears. And also, we'll continue, of course, we will continue to run the Steem Witness node. Also, we're going to do contests, right? Contests is one thing that we will continue to do. We have a lot of fun doing. In fact, here's a surprise. We have a contest up on our post right now. We're here on Thailand. We don't know what to eat. Can you guys recommend some good food? We have 10K of Steem power ready to give out to you guys. So do check us out. All right. So, okay, just to quickly recap, here are some of the ways we use Steem for our marketing strategy. We run contests. We do a report using our research expertise. We had a podcast with Steemit Inc. We would be interested to do more podcasts as well. We run a witness node, as well as reaching out to Steem projects and to list them on our platform.
All right, thank you. We highly encourage all those crypto projects to check out Steem and use Steem as a marketing platform, because this is like a good platform because all those users are educated with the knowledge of cryptocurrency and blockchain. So it's easier to talk about the core ideas about your the core ideas about your projects. And it's easier to market your stuff because if you use like the traditional way of ads advertising, you are just sometimes you just tackle like those users that are not familiar with cryptocurrency as well.
So, any questions?
So this is what I promised. Ask questions and you get a merch. No, wait. Good, real good questions. Not random questions.
Okay, it works. You guys mentioned that if we visited Malaysia, where you guys are located,
Yeah.
that we would get lunch.
Yes.
Do you guys cook well, or who's paying for that?
We, but not too much people, not the whole SteemFest. We don't have budget for that. Maybe. But it's good if the whole SteemFest coming.
All right. Thank you.
Come and collect your merch.
We have merch, yeah. Thank you for your question.
Do you have any plans to list Steam Engine tokens, or I know you plan on listing some SMTs. Are you going to list all of them or just some of them?
Okay. So yeah, Steam Engine is a DEX basically. Yeah, I mean, if Steam Engine are interested, you can just reach out to us. We are okay. Like we always list exchanges. We are open to listing any exchanges. Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, because I've been following CoinGecko's steemit very actively on a daily basis and etc., you know about it. My question is, I have noticed that recently CoinGecko have started to post articles much more on Twitter, for example, if compared to Steem blockchain, and I'm wondering why. Is it because you don't have the support necessary by the Steemians?
That's a good question. So to be honest, we are experimenting on our marketing strategies. It's not that we don't have support. We do have a lot of support. It's just that we are trying out new things, and on Twitter, we recently we run this initiative, and so it gotten some surprising feedback. But we will continue to post on the Steem blockchain. That's a given. That's a fact. It's just that, yeah, as our company grows, we are looking to different ways to experiment and to find other avenues of marketing. Yeah.
So to answer your question, so is that every like Telegram, Twitter or Steem, we have person in charge. So our team are in charge of all these different part of the whole social media and stuff like that. So we have initiative, and we do quite a lot of. I mean, Twitter is just like we're just gonna share about like what's our update, and we also will share on Steem at the same time. Yeah.
I'm asking if you're going to be posting all these slides on Steem so we can have them.
Yeah, definitely the slides.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we will share them. We'll share them.
We do a quick. All this we'll just explain quickly in the slides soon.
Okay.
Yeah, just follow us. Alliance CoinGecko.
Well, I already do because I enter all your contests. I'm sure.
Thank you.
Fun. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And
Thank you.
I've never won, but I always get great
You
votes
won
for-
something today. You merch.
Oh, okay.
Okay, last question. We left one merch. Unless you guys are okay to ask question without merch.
Do I get a
bag
just
one.
for asking the question? Do I get a bag?
Last one.
Yeah, do I get a bag just for asking the question? Do I get a bag?
No, real good questions.
I don't need a bag, but I've got somebody who's watching on the live stream. The question is, why don't you guys list SBD, and will you do it?
Sorry again?
Why don't you guys list SBD?
We have
and will
SBD
you?
on
Do
our
you?
site.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we have
then
SBD
whoever's
on
on
site.
the live stream, I'm sorry, Inertia. They have it.
We have SBD in our site.
We do
okay.
list SBD.
There you go. So sorry, I was asking on behalf of somebody else.
All right, it's okay. No, you want merch?
That was it. I was just relaying. So somebody else.
Last merch. Okay. If no, then we. Yeah. Okay. You have one? You mean the demographic? Oh, okay.
I think all over the world, but mainly.
Notable one is US, Japan, Korea. Where else?
Russia.
Yeah.
India. Yeah, it's most. There is no like. What do you call it? We don't have like a. It is mostly spread out.
We have community leaders in each region to spread out like awareness about our existence and something like that. We have community leader in Japan, Vietnam, Korea.
Yeah, we're still expanding, and
we're still trying to expand to touch to ground to more of our users. That's why we are here. Our reasons to get to know more Steemians here.
Well, very good question. Yeah, to an exchange, we do see some traffic from China as well.
You want to get a merch?
Anyone want merch? Great, you want merch?
Great, you want merch? Right, we give our merch, and we're done for today. Thank you.
Well, we still have some goodies at the back. Feel free to take. We have stickers.
Talk to us.
Luggage tags and all. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, Jarvi can have it. Okay, thanks a lot. It was gecko time. Have you heard the Thai gecko already?
Okay, I'll check.
I don't know how a coingecko sounds though, but bling bling, bling bling. So here we have one of the examples that you can still live after 30 hours of flying. Mr. Jarvi, you guys know him maybe from SteemPeak, which he will introduce tomorrow at the State of the App session. But today he is here actually for a super interesting talk, because Jarvi did a sweaty cup. Okay, Crimson Tide. So Jarvi did a research amongst YouTubers he knows to find out what they actually need, right? So what we as a Steem blockchain should be providing to them to get them over to the Steem chain. Nathan, can you hit play? And then Jarvi, take it away.
All right. Okay.
30 hours of flight.
Yes, all right. But I got some caffeine, we should be good. So this is not about SteemPeak. I am Jarvi from SteemPeak, but I just wanted to share some information that would help everyone, all the businesses, all the creators out there to understand what full-time creators are looking for. And if you want to chit-chat, you can do that outside. Okay. So the objective of this presentation is to help understand, for us to understand what full-time content creators are looking for. We're all content creators, but people that are making a living off of creating content, how is it that what are they looking for? What's exciting about it? So I did a survey of a lot of full-time, very successful people. So I wanted to see what they think of our technology, what they think that blockchain can bring to us, okay? So, content source. In another life, I'm a full-time photographer. I happen to have a lot of interactions with full-time YouTubers, so I thought I would survey them. So this is going to be data points from then, and I'm going to speak fast because there's a lot to go through. So, so I go to a lot of YouTube conferences. I see a lot of the behind the scenes, but the majority of this is the surveys that I did. So it was all kind of like phone surveys. So if you want to, see what happened. So I happen to know, because of that other life, like 50 full-time YouTubers, very insightful the way that they think, very creative people, very influential people, which is cool because they have their own audiences. So they're not necessarily, they would love to come somewhere and expand their audience, but if they could bring their audiences, this is even better. So now there's some great incoming graphics. Just so you know the kind of people, you may not know any of these people by any chance, but the piano guys, for example, started on YouTube and created a following of 6.6 million followers, and now they do concerts all around the world, fill out large stadiums, well, not large, like, 20,000 people, maybe maximum. And they tour, and, with only maybe 12 to 16 videos a year, they can generate, they've generated 1.8 billion views. That's 1.8 billion eyeballs. And this is going to be a kind of a reoccurring theme, is that they understand how to translate the views into money. They already know how to do that. But there's some things that we can do. So this is another example of a friend who started creating videos, and they went like super viral. He was actually working with the YouTube company, Stuart, and he just like, well, I have this idea of this kind of like prank type video, and it just went viral, and he kept on doing it. So they also understand how to duplicate their efforts and recreate virality. And this is another interesting aspect. Stuart went on kind of a sabbatical to rethink his brand and content, and was 6 months without posting content, but was still at least 600,000 views a month. Because if you think about YouTube, which is something that maybe we could look at, is that the content becomes evergreen because YouTube is a large search engine, right? So he's still able to pay all of his bills off of stuff he's done in years past. JK Studios, this is an example of a brand that did the Studio C. Scott Sterling was a viral video. But they have over 10 actors. They now branched off to another company. And they have 10 actors that they support off of the content that they put onto YouTube. Because it's not just about ad revenue. And I did survey them about revenue sources. But a company like this focuses primarily on sponsorships. So if they had a location where a lot of eyeballs, again, that theme of if they have views, they know how to make money off of that. And so they can just support themselves off of all the sponsorships that they integrate into their skits. King of Random, one of the largest YouTube channels out there, with about 50 to 70 million views a month. Another example, there's 2 people on screen, but they have a team of like 10 people that help support that. So these are larger operations than maybe what we're somewhat used to, but that will come into play in some of the tech that we talk about a little bit later. This is kind of explaining what kinds of people they are. Devin Supertramp, another large one, that's kind of the list of people that he's worked with sponsorships. He's like, I just want to have views, eyeballs, wherever they're at, but I want to be able to track them because that's important to these sponsors right here that he works with. And here's a friend that has 3 billion views over the years, and he would do daily content, daily vlogs. And this will be an interesting aspect later on, too, with some of the data, but let's get there. Money sources, I mentioned some of them. Ad revenue, sponsorships, direct sales, affiliate and subscriptions happen to be that's kind of the order for the individuals. And here's the thing, we have a revenue stream, right? But these are the ones that they're familiar with. We can do all of these in the various different ways, right? Obviously, affiliate sales is the easy one to kind of integrate. They know how to do that in text anyways. So this is what they are used to, just so you know, kind of their levels of interest. And then I wanted to survey as well what they're already using. So these are people that don't just focus on YouTube. None of them do just YouTube. That's putting all their eggs in one basket is how they see the world. If you put and they're already a little bit too many eggs into YouTube. They're a little bit too dependent, and they understand that, which means there's opportunity because they're a little scared of that. And you'll see from some of the other questions that I do. But as you would expect, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter are the main ones. And there was a big divide, and then you have like tier 3 of ones that they've tried out, but it never really caught, they never really caught fire with it. Obviously, there's people that have either used these things and made a living off of it or still do it. That wasn't the audience that I was surveying at that point. Tier 4 are the ones that they've heard about but never used, and Tier 5, unfortunately, are the ones that they've never heard about except maybe from me. So, interaction time, if you want to know, it varies. I was interested in this question. I wanted to see, because we talk a lot about interaction directly between the consumers on Steam? You've seen the YouTube comment sections, you've seen how many there can be. You're going to expect that if they come over, and how much interaction they do. It comes into play because they want the ability to be able to interact a little bit better. It's pretty hard for them to find good comments to interact with. This is another one maybe I was just kind of interested in. But we also look at like some people maybe going, oh, I want to be full-time on Steam. It's even hard for them, but easier than I was expecting. About 100 to 150,000. With 150,000 subscribers, these people say, I know how to turn that into a full-time living. To go full-time, I know how to turn 100 to 150,000 with maybe more daily content. Some of the other ones that have larger operations or post more infrequently say that they need a lot more viewers, not necessarily, well, subscribers. Obviously, they all said it's not about the subscribers, because there's a couple people that, like, I have 2 million subscribers, and now he's going back to doing stuff with Hollywood stunt type stuff. So he's going back into Hollywood type things. It's how you utilize that and how you get the views. They know how to turn views into money. Blockchain familiarity. We're getting to the part where I talk to them about tech, but we're still introducing the YouTubers themselves. So here's the words that they're familiar with, and off to the side, the weird words that they didn't really know much about. The sentiment about YouTube. I know we talk about like, oh, they're ready to jump ship right away. And there are some, as 3speak was talking about earlier, that have been demonetized and are looking for right now. The rest of them, they were generally positive. And they weren't too worried about deplatforming as much as they were worried about demonetization. And demonetization is a big thing every once in a while. There seems to be a cycle. Some news article comes out, something happens in the news, YouTube is in the news. YouTube doesn't seem to like being in the news because they always overreact when they're in the news. And then they do some algorithm that wrecks people. And I've had plenty of friends that had content that was totally great. It just happened to be kid-centric. And then all of a sudden, it was demonetized. I have a friend that had 2 million views on a channel and literally just gave up on it because it was demonetized. So they're very cautious about YouTube, even though they love it because they're making money off of it, and they're excited about the revenue streams. So, blockchain to the rescue. Here's the part that I geek out about, and if you want to ask more questions afterwards, I don't know where I'm at of time. Does it have a timer on here, maybe? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So, I want you to think right now of these things. What do you think ranked highest in their mind? Was it non-censorship? I did a 1 to 10 on interest level. That's how I did it. So we're going to give the scores on them all. Just to let you know, they were mostly all positive about these concepts that blockchain or Steem can do. Non-censorship, algorithmic choice, direct donations, money for votes, all those things. Which in your mind do you think ranked the highest and which ranked lowest? Yeah, I'll get some guesses. What do you think? What were you going to say? Direct donations the highest? Money for votes as the highest? What's that? Paywall options? Yeah, because Patreon's a big thing right now, and some other type of subscription. People are starting to do their own subscription services because they're not even necessarily trusting a central service like Patreon to always be fair and to always let them around. I'm going to start with the highest ones first. The highest one with a 9.05, with 52.9% of people responding as a 10. And this wasn't that they just liked this and rated it high, but their general sense that I got from them is they were very passionate about this, algorithmic freedom. So down at the bottom is kind of the question, how I asked it. So, you know, obviously I'm not a professional survey maker, and the question that you ask is very important. So I said the consumer gets to choose which algorithm to use, or you can choose chronological sorting. And they're like, wait, chronological sorting? Like Instagram used to do? That was key to them. They love that. They understand algorithms, though, have a place for search engines to keep content evergreen is one example. But you use the word choice, they love it and they're very excited about it. So, but we got a few more to go through. This will surprise you probably. Now, they weren't as passionate about this, but this was number 2 as far as rating. They just kind of like, yeah, that makes total sense. They don't really have a method for that, though I'm told someone that the community that I know has in common is like, they're making that specifically for YouTube. They're trying to, because it's such a big problem to them. You got to think, these are the people that collaborate a lot with other YouTubers. They work with sponsors. They have sponsors post their content. If you think about the whole concept of Instagram and some of these other places, I like to say that they were kind of built on the backbone of a soft theft of, we're posting your content and you thank us for it, you know, and we're going to grow large and you're going to thank us for you being our stepping stool to get there. So this concept of beneficiary, but they look at it as a way of solving some of their big headaches that they have, because as you saw, they're not always one-person operations, they're multiple people. The next one, this is the one that I've been leading with when I talk to content creators. I've been leading with for months now, and so it was really fun to see it rank so high. 55% of the people said 10. And those that said 10 were very excited about this. This I have been leading to YouTubers and other content creators with this. So the concept is that on Steem, on blockchain, you are directly connected. That does not exist on any other social media. That's a big one. So, I mean, it's so easy to lead with because they get it. If they are making a living off of this, they are somewhat worried all the time. In the back of their head is, how long is this going to last? How long am I going to be on here? For people that are worried about censorship or deplatforming, even bigger. If they have sensitive subjects, some of the people ranked a little bit lower, they're like, meh, you know, like, I'm brand friendly, so it's not as big of a deal to me. If you said censorship, you're kind of right, if that was your guess. This was kind of a no-brainer one I threw in there to see what they thought, but this is the no censoring other platforms, and the quickest one, especially to YouTubers, is when you say, you know, like the relationship between YouTube and Facebook. They're like, oh, I get it. Because if you post YouTube on Facebook, dead. Like you get people with hundreds, thousands of interactions, they post their YouTube video on Facebook and boom, nothing gets seen. It happens to me too. I accidentally did that the other day, and I was like, oh crap, I posted a YouTube thing and really no one saw it. So that's a simple one. Paywall. I was surprised it was a little bit lower, but the thing is maybe just the audience, and I think that they rated it, well, here's what happened. They're like, yeah, I like the concept. It wasn't 10s because they weren't presently using it, these people. And that may happen actually, paywall may be more for lower content streams. I mean, these people are making a lot of money off of sponsorships and off of ads. So it may be those with maybe lesser followings that can, one of my friends, Shay, who has a channel with 3 billion views, and when I asked him how many followers, and he actually started a company called Maker Studios that sold to Disney that represents tons of YouTube channels. They sold that company for $700 million because they understand that those relationships are really important. So when I asked Shay what he thought, how many viewers you need, how many subscribers you need, how many followers, he said, you need 1,000. You need 1,000 totally committed people that believe in you, that comment on everything, because then you have 1,000 comments on YouTube, you're way up in the search engine. They buy your merchandise, they do all these things. You could survive, if you have 1,000 people so invested that they spend $100 in some way, they comment, they like every video, that you're set for life. Okay, but paywall systems was ranked pretty high. They all understand Patreon. Multi-interface repository, that's what I call it. That aspect of how there's SteamPeak, steemit, Busy, all these things. Things that maybe I thought at the beginning I was so confused by, and I thought maybe this is a downfall, but when I explained it this way, this is the way you explain it. It's like podcasts. Oh, I get it. Especially to a content creator that understands how podcasts work. A central repository, you put up a podcast, and then lots of interfaces and applications all interact with that. And they're like, oh, I get it. Now, there are some stipulations. They're like, well, we really would love to see analytics because that's how they make money, is by knowing the views, and they buy the sponsorships that work with that. All right, tokenized communities. I was wondering if this was going to score well because it is a very different concept, right? It doesn't really exist out there. But tokenized communities responded pretty well. I think a lot of them ended up being around the 9. And what they were like, ooh, that's very interesting. That was kind of more the response. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for that forever. Because they had just like, well, that's cool. They're like, but I could tell that their wheels started turning. They started going, But they're like, this sounds complicated. But then they actually said, they were literally like, but someone will make it easier, and someone will show me how to use it. They go to conferences. They spend multiple days going to things just to learn how to make their thumbnails better. They'll go to a class to learn how to make their thumbnail better. Of course, they're going to go to a class and learn how to tokenize their community and learn all the things, learn how to use that interface that we saw in the previous presentations earlier today. Donations in general were pretty high. It was more again, the audience that was making money pretty in other ways, so they weren't particularly looking towards donations, but some of them were pretty excited about donations. They view it favorably in general. There was no one rating it pretty low. And it's something so easy we can do on Steem and track on Steem and make it really good on user interface. It's something I'm hoping to push into SteemPeak. So there's all these things that we're doing we could do really easily and nicely, and it doesn't even have to be like blockchain hard forks. This kind of Steem interface, make it user-friendly, because it's not just about them, it's about the people that they can bring in, the millions of people that they can bring to watch. Then I mentioned direct crypto donations. Most of them, they'd all heard about cryptocurrency, and their kind of attitude was, oh, it's money, sure, I'll take it. And then when I said it was direct, which means no middleman, which means no expense, then they got more interested. All right. Now we go to the ones for money from votes. This is probably, there's only one after this. It was one of the least interesting things to them. Sorry to say. And I have a couple words about money for votes afterwards, but obviously part of it was they didn't immediately understand the concept. It was a survey. I didn't want to take an hour on the phone calls with them. But part of it was when I changed, and it was actually worse than this. It was getting a 5.16, but I quickly into it, maybe 5 into it, I adapted it, and I said, this is what I said, not a donation, but when users hit the heart button, you get small sums of money from a limited rewards pool. Okay, so they responded a little bit better, maybe they see it in action, but I'll tell you what actually interests them a little bit more, but we're going to get to the last one. I'll come back to money from votes in a second. Non-censored platforms. It was ranking really low, and so I changed it. Companies or government can't censor what you write. And they started, okay, yeah, what I write. I don't want them to censor what I write. Then they realized that that applied to other people, and they're on YouTube, and they've seen comments, and they've seen other YouTube videos, and they started to get worried. In general, they liked the concept, but there was a lot of but, what if type things. They don't want to be on a site that has terrorists. They don't want to be on that site. And they recognize that the places where they make money aren't going to be on there with them. The advertisers aren't going to jump on there like, well, if you have these people, so it's a problematic thing. It comes with our territory, and it's something we have to think about. I understand that's not the best news. But back to money from votes. There is a good news about this. One of the more interesting things, so if we give out 80,000 Steem a day, and these people are that's nothing to them. especially when they realize that's going to have to be split between how many content creators, how big does Steem have to get for that to make it worthwhile? And they have 4 other ways that they are experts at making money at. And they are experts at utilizing for the benefit of their users. So they're excited about that. But there's one thing that can kind of like bring them back to this concept of from the reward pool. Them buying Steem to use. I don't think they really care about like $5, $10, $20 votes. But they could care about the impact and the influence that a small vote of theirs can have on other people. So I've seen people respond when they just hit the heart button. If one of these content creators, they have so much impact, and you may view that as kind of a detrimental, like how much influence they have on people. They hit the heart button, and these people are like, you made my day. This is the best day of my life. A lot of Shay's followers, Shay shouted me out one time. This is the type of influence. I stayed at his house for a week. He's like, hey, what do you want me to promote? This is way before Steem. I said, Instagram. And the next day I had 30,000 Instagram followers. So this is the kind of impact that people have. He's like, this is a really good photographer. Everyone should follow. This is the kind of impact. So if you say, like, these types of votes that they can do, the piano guys being able to say, play a musical number from our piano book, which means you own our piano book. Okay, you know, they're promoting. And then we'll give you a vote. That has more impact to them than getting some money from votes. So there is a silver lining in that. And that's kind of, you know, what some other people do here with, you know, using votes to promote good actions and stuff like that. So I don't know if I have any more time left. I'm surprised that I even got it all into there. But that's the end. If there's any time for questions. I'm just really wanted people to understand
one question, okay, guys?
full-time creators. Yeah.
One question for Grandpa. Oh, no, not for Grandpa, for Jarvi.
Yeah.
Who has a question?
All right.
Who has the question? Who?
I got one here. So I know you did some interviews with roughly 50 YouTubers. Did you convince any to make a Steem account?
So I told them all, to us, for Steem Peak, retention is very important. I think there's a few things, personally, it's just my perspective. This was also somewhat of a way to soft introduce them all to Steem. It was also easier for me to call up my friends and say, hey, can you help me? I'm going to Bangkok and doing a presentation. And they're like, yeah, okay, Jarvi, yeah, let's, you know. But I didn't want to call and do a sales pitch. So this was a fun way to do it. But I also said, hey, when we're ready, I don't want them to come to a place where I want them to bring their followers to be able to comment. And so can their followers come in and comment right away? Not quite yet. We just started guests. Will launch, I guess, in a couple hours on SteemPeak. But, you know, that's the sort of thing for people to come in and in 1 second to be able to interact because they're interested in interactions. So, but I gave them all like, hey, I'll give you the heads up when we're ready, when we got some of these things solved, because they can't, you know, if all we have is one revenue model option, we need some of those other things. But they will invest time. There's one person that said that he's been doing Instagram for years. They're making plenty of money on YouTube, but he was doing Instagram daily for years, not because he was making any money, but because he saw people making money, and he knew that this was the equation. And when you get to this number, that he knew how to do it. They go and they learn from other people, and they're creative. And he's like, and next week, I have a large sponsorship as my first thing of making Instagram. So he says, when you're talking about this, I will invest if I see that the numbers are there and that there's a success stories there, and that I'll put time into it without making any money, but because I know that it's going to be possible. And maybe some of these texts will also encourage them. All right.
Okay. Yeah, Epic. Fini, can you move the thingy just a little bit to the double click on the menu bar, topper? Oh, epic. Hey, so this is actually my project? No, it isn't. So, guys, last presentation of the day. I'm happy to see you all here still. Afterwards, we can have no, yes, no, let me calculate. No, we cannot have, maybe we can have a quick drink, one drink, and then we exit to BTS station. Firepower crew will be handing out the tickets, 5 stops to direction National Stadium. And yeah, then we can visit the what? With some guided tours for 1 hour approximately, and then you're all cordially invited. The guides actually will take you there to the bowling upstairs in the mall next door to the what, where there is dinner and bowling combination. Don't throw the food on the, you know. Okay, but that's later. First, Waivio with Grandpa. He was last year in Krakow, and I'm really happy he's back again. To tell about the continuation of the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, today is the last presentation, and we want to make it interesting. So we'll talk on the subject of building independent and profitable business on Steem. Again, the passion to Steem, that's all what brought us here. Well, for somebody like me, coming from Canada in the middle of November, it's kind of nice. Still a long flight. So, when we talk about independent business, right, it's relatively easy to understand. Distributed network, you don't have to ask anybody permission to do it, so nobody can fire you if you're successful. What about profitable, right? When we say profitable, what I really want to say is that it will be sufficient to provide for your family. And when we're talking about the business which will become your main source of income, it's kind of important that it would not depend on the price of Steem, right? Yeah, after all, you don't want your family life to be like a roller coaster ride, depending on what will be, you know, the price. You don't want to wake up in the morning and check your day with, you know, what's the price. So, second, it cannot possibly depend on the amount of Steem that you own, because even with the low market cap that we have today, just getting 2 percentage points will require millions of dollars, which is not an option for a majority of players, right? Well, we've been talking a lot about mass adoption, and we hope we are on the way there, but if your business will require mass adoption today, it's not going to work. And finally, it would be nice if your business would not require you to be a master in computer science or to have a degree in journalism. Okay, with all that being said, my question to you, is it easy today to build and to have such a business on Steem? Okay, I have quite a bit of skepticism in the audience. Okay, so in the next 20 minutes, I'll actually try to show you how you can build such a business. But I want a little bit of a bonus for myself. Okay, if I actually manage to do this, and we'll, you know, have a checklist at the end, we'll verify if I succeed or not. I want you to support what we do, basically on Steem proposal system, which you heard the presentation earlier. Do you think it's a fair ask? Okay. We have a deal. Let's move. What do you think that is? Okay, it's a Steem post, yes, with likes and some comments there. But basically, it's something that we did all for free on many other social platforms, right? We share photos of the food, we write a quick review, and maybe of the restaurant, maybe of the dish. But today, I want you to look at it from a slightly different perspective. I would like you to see it as proof of sale. Proof of sale that basically, in order for you to have 2 photos of the dish on your table, for starters, you had to have that dish on your table. And you had to pay for it. Okay? And if we throw some links, like basically link to the restaurant and link to the dish, we'll talk about it later. But basically, what you see here is the foundation for a very simple business model. So I am that orange guy here. I'll call myself guide. Okay? So the idea is, if I bring the new customer to the restaurant, and I can prove to the restaurant that I was behind that customer coming to your restaurant, so I will expect, and the customer pays full price there, okay? So I expect to get some percentage for myself, right? Out of that commission, well, I'll keep some for myself as a profit, and I will also share something with the customer for writing that review. So far, so good? Okay, let's move on. So my question to you, would you be willing to pay, to basically post a very simple thing, which will be the review? We're talking just 2 photos, 10 words. I don't want an essay. I mean, if you're good with writing, go ahead. Your followers might like it. But it's not a requirement for you to get the bonus. And the 2 links to the dish and to the restaurant will be already pre-populated, so you don't really need to even worry about that. So would you do it for $3? $5? Would you do it for $8? Okay, there is a price at which you would be interested, and basically make sure it's simple, right? So you take your phone, a couple of snapshots, done. You say a few words about the dish, presentation, did you like taste, was it worth your money? Well, first things first. Whenever basically it starts to look like paid review, okay? The problem with paid reviews is that how do you exclude bias? I mean, we need honest reviews, right? Like even before we proceed any further. So the solution is actually very, very simple, is that rewards should never come from the interested party. It should come from an independent review service that will aggregate different proposals from different services. So basically, it will look like this. So you come to the page, and it tells you, if you go to this place, you can earn $5, $8 for writing a review. You go here, it's 4 to 6. And then you can dive deeper and basically say what specific dishes are available for reviewing. Okay? So, in fact, you can even go there and research it like this. Basically, I feel like eating chicken. And you just go and explore the map around you and say, okay, you can go to this Greek place and review chicken souvlaki. You can go to this Indian place, review chicken tikka masala. So what do you feel like? So what you do is you press reserve button. And reserve button allows you to reserve and say, basically, I reserve that offer, that bid, for the next, whatever, 7 days, 5 days, I'll go there and do this. So I don't have to rush it now, or when I come there, I want to make sure the offer is still available, right? So once you complete the review, and when, like discussed, it's very simple to do, obviously it becomes part of your profile, as it normally does, but because you had links to the restaurant and to the dish, it also becomes part of a page about this specific restaurant on Steem blockchain. Okay, we'll discuss it later, but I'll need more time to explain how it works. But it's basically a fixed page that will collect all reviews that mention that restaurant. And the same goes for the dish. So that whenever you go to the restaurant page, you browse through the menu, you will be able to basically click the dish and see all the real-time, like all real-life photos of that dish. So let's jump a little bit on the bird's-eye view of the whole situation. Like, what is this business model? What are we talking about? Essentially, we're talking about replacing coupons, discounts, promotions in restaurants, and replace them with what we would know as rebates or rewards. Okay? So first of all, let me ask you, with coupons, how many of you actually successfully manage restaurant coupons? Okay. It's really becoming a way of the past. Like, restaurants still publish these coupons. They still try to push them around and basically try to get the traffic, but it's just really hard to manage, too many different places, hard to find. And the other problem, people who use coupons often complain that they're being treated as second class. You know, like when you present the coupon. Actually, there are some studies behind it. It's just that, especially in US, where tips are common, is that waiter knows that you will pay smaller tip. And it's psychological. They will treat you differently than if you were to pay full price. But let's look at rewards. First of all, with rewards, we've already shown that it's very simple to discover all the rewards. So they're personalized. You can basically say, okay, I'll do this, ignore this, follow this restaurant, never show me any ads, any invitations from these sponsors. So you can do that. You can personalize. It's very simple. The second part, because you will pay full price, so for sure you're going to get full service. Nobody around you knows that you're actually going to get a bonus for what you're doing. And the whole thing is actually aspirational, because you see with savings, it's basically the savings. With writing reviews, you actually help other people discover great experiences. But advantages do not stop on the personal level, just on the user. Actually, there are lots of reasons for restaurants to ditch coupons and switch to rewards completely. First of all, they pay for results only. With coupons, if you're owner of the restaurant, you actually do not know how many customers will come. The other important part is that, unfortunately, your loyal customers will pile up on these coupons. So instead of bringing new customers, you just drop your profit line. Also, just processing these coupons. Imagine like a cashier have to enter it into the cash register. They have to do all that work. And you know what? Your employees know your discounts well. What happens next? Well, when a cash payment comes, they just replace it with a coupon and keep cash for themselves. It's called employee fraud. And it's very difficult to fight in the restaurant. So with rewards, it's the thing of the past. Rewards can be also targeted. They can be targeted to new customers. Basically, you say reward is available only for a person once a month. Okay? So you know they're not going to abuse the system. You can target it for slow days. You can do a lot of other targeting too, like target influencers with bigger rewards and all of that stuff, and you can easily do it. So another problem is brand devaluation. It's just when restaurants start to promote discounts a lot, it actually can be the last nail in their coffin, because people will start like, I'm not coming unless I get a discount. Okay, and here, because there are no discounts anymore, there is no brand burnout. I'm not going to dive too far into the P&L and analysis of what restaurant can actually pay for it, but essentially we're talking it's 35%. 35% of the price of the dish that can be paid, returned by the restaurant back to the one who brought that customer. Okay? And out of that, 75% will actually go to the person who is visiting. Okay? And 25 I'll take as a guide for managing the reward program on behalf of the restaurant. Okay? So let's calculate money. Okay? Let's do some calculations. So restaurant industry in the US. Obviously, in different markets it's different, but for the most part, restaurant prices are very well representative of the income that you need to generate to sustain, your family in this area. So we'll just talk about US numbers. So there are over 1 million restaurants in US. Average revenue per restaurant is about $1 million a year. Out of that, the restaurant on average gets spends about $27,000 a year on coupons. And we're only talking about the claimed coupons, the one that actually been entered into the cash register. Okay, so it brings us to about $2,000 per month per restaurant, and this is on average, okay? Obviously, the restaurants that are interested to drive traffic, they're actually spending way more than that, but let's just work with the number, okay? So if we can convert coupons into rewards for the single restaurant, so yeah, $1,500 will go as rewards to customers. Understood. So my commission is $500 per restaurant per month. Okay, the next math is simple. I need 20 restaurants to manage to make $120,000 a year. Anybody familiar with sales will tell you I can sell 20 restaurants in a matter of a month. So what that sale will look like, how you actually sell to the restaurant. Well, the trick here is you don't even sell because you buy. If I come to the restaurant, the way I deal with this is that, well, if you have free tables, unoccupied tables in your restaurant on Monday, I can bring customers to take these places. So how many customers your restaurant can accommodate on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday? Okay, you're super busy on Fridays and Saturdays, fine. I'll stay away or I'll bring you less. We'll talk about the other days, okay? And then we set up 2 reward categories. So one is basically $5 for reviewing appies. Let's decide which appies. $8 for main dishes. So basically we set up 2 tiers. That's it. Then we say, okay, how often the customer can get the reward? Okay, once a month, fine. 2 times a month, we can do that. Okay, so billing and payment. It's very simple. So with the restaurant, we set up the pool of rewards. So maybe $1,000, so which are prepaid. I'll basically use them as rewards. Once it's done, the next payment comes in. And here is the beauty of Steem. Everything is super transparent. All the payments, all reviews that have been done, everything is very transparent and easy to verify. Abuse control. Won't stop there too far, but the idea is if somebody is just abusing clearly the system, you don't have to pay them rewards, or basically, you can prevent them from writing reviews, but you don't have to pay for it. It's very simple. Well, going down the road. Like if you have an agreement, you pay regardless. Whether it's positive, it's not about positive or negative review, as we discussed, right? We need honest reviews. I'm talking about flat-out fraud, basically. The photos of it, something else, which is not part of the deal. Okay, so the next question, we've got restaurants. How do we get customers? So, and here is the stats. 11% of population in the United States actually dine out every single day. And this trend is especially popular among millennials, who are also technically savvy, interested in cryptos, and price conscious. So if they can save 25% on every meal that they're doing, and it takes them just a couple of photos, and actually they're building those social capital while doing this, you'll probably get them. So how many do you need in a certain area? Well, actually, you just need 500. You don't need 1,000. You don't need 10,000. You don't need hundreds of thousands. You don't need 1 million. You basically need a couple hundred in your area actively engaging with this service. And you can easily get it through basically Google advertising, social advertising. And again, you're advertising again, I remind you, you're buying their service. You're not selling to them. Basically, the invitation is review the dish, get the reward. Okay, let's look at the existing players. So how we will compare to other players in the area. TripAdvisors, Yelp of the world, Google Map, and the other players. So first of all, we're offering tangible rewards, right? Second, we are only focusing on photos and dish reviews rather than writing essays about the restaurant, which makes it super simple. And the people earn social capital. With daily deals like Groupon and Living Social, well, these guys require deep discounts from restaurants. Actually, they will kill the restaurant easily because they sometimes require 75% of the entire price to serve as a discount. And we want a continuous program. We want wide selection of restaurants and all of that. Okay, so why Steem? Because people, basically, ultimate transparency, additional rewards, collecting your social capital on the network, and yeah, I'll just keep that. So there are additional revenues too. We won't go too far in that. My time is up, almost. And essentially what I'm saying is that the page of the restaurant on Steem blockchain actually looks better than 80% of restaurant websites out there. Okay? So you can sell the web hosting service. You can also manage, and everything that you see today is from operating product. These are not mock-ups. This is fully operational platform, okay, today. But the thing that I want to talk about is a little bit is a match bot. Okay, now that you owe $5 to the person for writing the review, well, you can pay them in liquid funds, and that's the whole system was designed for. But the thing is, if some of that value comes as an upvote on their post, right? So now, let's say, imagine it's $1 worth of payment, so now I can keep an extra $1 for myself. If you were paying attention, I just doubled my profit. And who is this fairy that is doing these nice upvotes on my post? I'll tell you. Whoever owns large amount of Steem. Why? Because this program creates a very strong cash demand for Steem. And yes, you want to support the guide so that he will do more sales, because that will increase your capital gains dramatically. Okay, let's check. So, do you think that program may work? Okay. Does it depend on the price of Steem? No, it doesn't. Basically, rewards are being purchased and distributed within a month or even faster, so it really doesn't matter what is the price. You don't need any Steem to own. It would be nice if you have, and you can upvote your own submissions, yes, but you're not dependent on this. Mass adoption, well, we don't really need mass adoption. In fact, this program can lead to mass adoption, but you don't have to have a lot of users in your area to run it. Well, coding experience, journalism, you don't need that too. Okay, so do you agree that I did the job? Okay, the promise is a promise. The deal is a deal. So I invite you to go to Steem Proposals or any other choice platform where you can vote for our proposal and give us thumbs up. We'll really appreciate that so that we can complete the platform and we can launch it in full force basically in the next few months. And step 2, just to play with it. Go to waivio.com, put your favorite restaurant there. And tomorrow we will have a roundtable discussion around 2 o'clock. So we will do a little bit of a deeper dive. So any one of you who is interested how the whole thing actually works, which buttons to press, I invite you to join me there. Thank you.
Okay. Wow. Thanks a lot, Grandpa. See you tomorrow at the round table.
Absolutely.
If I have some time.
Thank you.
How can you give the clicker to Vinny? He's collecting clickers. Okay. So maybe you got a notification. I kind of messed up a bit with the timing, but hey. Something to make a little mistake. Oh, we're still going to make it. You know the instruction, right? Gentlemen, flip-flops and short pair is a no-go. Flip-flops and closed shoes is okay. Please, if you have something to cover yourself, you're all good. Take a quick drink and wait, and we huddle up in the garden, and then we just go all together, okay? And like, let's go in 8 minutes. Okay, can you set a timer or not? Timer? Thank you for SteemFest Day 1. I wish you all a lot of luck in the bowling, and see you at the bowling. Okay, cheers guys. Okay, live stream peoples. I hope you had a great time. So no, this is not for you, this is for live stream only. Let me go to live stream. I go to live stream. Oh, live stream is now over there. Which camera should I pick? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Bernie, I hear you. Please don't downvote this one. Thanks a lot. See you guys tomorrow. It will only take, 12 more hours before we're back. Remember, the people are here already 2 days. You know, so tomorrow performance will be a little, but hey, don't worry, you won't notice. Please upvote, re-steam, see you on the chain. Okay, we can go cut off. Bye-bye, live stream. Woohoo! Okay, live stream can go.